You won't tell one. I'll read it.
Come on.
This is Cubs Radio.
Cubs Radio.
Knockem dead. Comedy show. Knockem dead.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're live with the Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show, broadcasting from the iconic Governor's Comedy Clubs in Levittown. Today we have with us.
Was that practice or was that the actual introduction?
No, that was the actual introduction.
Okay.
That wasn't practice.
I just wondered.
Because we had music going on in the background that you didn't hear. It was like secret music.
I just wanted Andy to know right away that I'm very rude.
We have Jackie the Joke Man Martling here, and Andy Fliegel's back from Try Not to Laugh podcast.
Andy, what?
Fliegel.
You're shitting me.
No.
Oh, like Martling's any better.
All right, it's a horse race. Come on, Fliegel and
Andy Fliegel.
Martling trumps Fliegel. You know, they're both stupid. I'll be Smith, you be Jones.
What? Did you put the heat on?
Yeah.
Holy
I know.
I was just thinking the same
What
thing.
the hell? What did you put it on, Sally?
Like 98.
Oh, my
something like
God.
that.
I thought it was just because it was a Hitler joke.
That was if you were listening pre-show, we were playing Jackie the Joke Man Martling at, where was it, Broadway?
Teasing the show that will be coming up as
Yes.
soon as Joe gets behind it financially, which he doesn't know he's doing yet. It's I hadn't done a show in a while, and I wanted to do something different in New York City, and I told Al Martin from Broadway Comedy Club at 53rd and 8th, I said, it just sounds good that Jackie the Joke Man live at Broadway Comedy Club. And so I did it on Monday night. He did nothing to help me promote it. It was impossible. It was summer. It was August in New York City, which is like death-defying. But I have a wheel that has 36 spots.
Okay.
And you spin it, and it's like divorce, marriage, Jews, Italians, midgets, poop, oral sex. I mean, all the categories are just great. And you spin the wheel, whatever it comes up on, and I would bring people up from the audience.
Right.
And it was just a silly. It was not meant to make money. It was $10 to get in, and if you came up on stage and you spun the wheel, and it came up on a subject, and you told a joke on the subject, you got $10.
All right.
If you told a joke on any subject, you got $5.
Okay.
If you made me laugh, you got $10. If you didn't have a joke at all, I would give you a joke to read, and if you even got through it, you got $5.
Right.
It was just a premise to have fun, and I made everybody come on stage, and
I like it.
it was just so silly and so fun, and we all had such a great time. Just spinning the wheel, so stupid. And sometimes I just give a girl $5 in the audience because she was cute, you know. And if there was a homo out there, I'd give him $10, and we'd take a quick break. But it was so great. But there was nobody ever there, and I just know. And the few shows that we videotaped, they're just funny. You could just watch them, because I'm just so rude to the girls, but it's so innocent. And I just really need to do it somewhere. And I think I should do it at all three Governors Comedy Clubs. And I think it'd be really funny on the internet or on TV or whatever. And I've never revisited it.
Do it in here.
How would you get him in?
The one thing I have to do is I want to do it with the wheel. And the wheel needs, I have no expertise with wood. And it probably takes somebody 3 seconds to fix it.
I've heard the opposite about you.
Well, not to brag. But literally, one night, we had 7 people. Right. You know, I would go there in the afternoon and put out the wheel and pictures and I had huge blow-ups of my books. And, I mean, it just looked fun. And we had 7 people in the audience. And I came out and I said, we're going to have a great time in here tonight. And it's exciting because we have twice as many people as last week. And the people looked around, and there were 7 people.
Right.
And like, how is it possible that this is twice as many people? I said, because last week we had 3 people and a midget. And we really did. There was a woman there, and she's famous. She's a
famous midget?
motivational speaker.
Yes.
She's the head of SAG, I think, in Washington. And she came with her father, but she was like, her father was a big fan, but he was about, 50 or 60, and she was like in her 30s. Betsy, I got to think of her name. But she just had the time of her life, and at the end of the night, she came up and said, you really can't have midget on that. And I said, I will cross out midget and write little people if you'll take a picture. Did you ever see the picture?
Oh,
I don't recall that.
So she stood there. I crossed out midget, wrote little people.
right.
And there's a picture of her standing next to the wheel, pointing to little people and giving me the finger. And I'm telling you, her middle finger is less than an inch long. And she was just the greatest sport. So, and that I said to the 7 people, that's how there's twice as many people here.
That's hilarious.
But it's such a fun show. Wait till you see this, you'll go berserk.
Well, and speaking of fun shows, I understand, you are going to stop in on the game show that we do have here.
Yes, I got hornswoggled into that.
Well, our host, the host of that show, Don Sill, is thrilled that you're coming on. He's very excited.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Is there a way to hold that up?
Yes.
Yeah.
You want to pass it? We can actually get it up on that screen if you want.
Is that priceless?
That. Oh shit! I just missed.
You want me to email it to you?
You messed it up.
Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry.
I'll just hold it up here for now.
I was gonna say you could text it to me and then I'll put it up on the screen.
Betsy.
What was her name?
Ross.
She seems kind of cute.
She was so great, and we laughed our asses off, and so I want to do that. I mean, it never was a money making thing, but I had all these jokes typed out, and it was just like Jackie's Joke Hunt. People go up and try and read a joke, but I'd yell at them if they didn't do a woman's voice or an old lady's voice, and it just got so stupid. And I had just met Barbara. Mm-hmm. And she came with a whole bunch of people from the bands that she works with because they were all fans, and brought her up on stage. And it's just a no lose proposition. But there were no people there, and with a few people in there, it'd be really fun, And you don't have to participate, just watching.
Sure.
And the bottom line, like I always say, is you go home with some stupid jokes. So it's a no lose proposition. So. That's the Jackie Martling show we're going to be doing. It's coming soon to a theater near you with any luck.
With any luck. Speaking of stupid jokes, Tony's now taking the stand-up comedy class.
Did you do it yet?
Yeah, he did the first one.
We had one class so far, yeah.
Mm-hmm. How intro to Bales or Truson?
Truson.
Intro to Troson.
Intro to Truson.
Intrusion.
So he's going to need to, Jackie,
I'll give you my newest joke. I just got a new joke today.
Okay, give it
I
to
never hear a new joke. I get a new joke. The wife is sitting there and she says, "Don't do it! Don't do it, you stupid bitch! Don't go into the church, you idiot!" Her husband says, "What are you watching?" She says, "Our wedding video." That's a great
That is a good
That's
one.
a great joke. Thank you to Francis Galuccio, my friend Slash. Did you ever meet him?
Yeah.
Slash?
No,
You did?
Francis?
Yeah.
Sure, we met Francis, yeah.
Oh.
Do you know his story?
The guy, the songwriter?
Yeah. Do you know why I call him a Slash?
No.
No.
I thought you were talking Guns N' Roses.
Seriously? This is a true story. His name is Francis Galuccio. His father's name was Francis Galuccio, and his grandfather's name was Francis Galuccio, but he went by the name Frank, and he was off the boat, wannabe mobster, okay?
Aren't we all?
And you can look this up on the internet. This is Francis's grandfather. He was going into a bar on Coney Island named the Harvard Club, which right there, that's a bullshit story. A Harvard Club on Coney Island in 1913.
Right,
okay? Right. And he's walking in with his sister. And this guy goes, "Nice ass." And Frank Galuccio says, "Hey, that's my sister, man. Take it back. And the guy said, I ain't taking it back. She's got a nice ass. So Frank took out a knife and slashed the guy's face 3 times.
Whoa.
And it was Al Capone.
Wow. Oh, we did hear
Francis's
Oh, yes,
Francis' grandfather is the reason Al Capone was Scarface. And a year later, Al Capone hired him to come work for him because he thought it was great how he stood up for his sister's honor. How crazy is that?
So he
Wow.
worked for.
I
Al
love calling
Capone.
Francis Slash. People say, why do you call him that? Well, let me tell you the story of Paul Revere. You know?
I thought you were going to say he turned around and said, "Thanks, I work out."
That's crazy. Holy man, are you kidding me?
Isn't that great?
That is
and
great.
you can look it up on the internet. You know, and the picture of Frank Galuccio, he looks like Frank Galuccio.
He looks like
you know,
Frank Galuccio.
Whoa.
Square
Anybody who
jaw.
wants to Google that, it's 2 L's, 2 C's. I
Most
have
of them
never
are.
figured out. It's so random, the Italians, like Steve Sciarippa and people like that. Why 2 R's, 1 P, or 1 R, 2 P's, and there's no rhyme nor
Right.
reason.
Yep.
Receive, no E after the I,
Right.
except if your mother's home. You know, like,
Richie Canada, 1 T. It should be
Yeah.
spelled Canada.
come on with that. So speaking of which, I sent a whole bunch of songs to Rob and Eve, and she sent the songs back to me, and her and Don we've been communicating back and forth. Fellow
Nice.
songwriters that nobody knows who the fuck they are. So we
But one
we
day,
bonded.
hopefully.
One day, hopefully.
You never know.
I haven't given up.
Good.
I should have.
See, now that's something I'd like to see. I'd like to see a night of you doing your music.
I've been
Yeah.
sending her my songs, and she's like flipping out and then saying
In a
how
good
great
way.
they are. I'm like, please don't encourage me. You know what I mean? My ex-wife to this day says, Jackie, you're going to make a lot of money with your songs. She always said that's how you're going to make your money is with your songs. I'm making
Right,
millions
right.
of dollars with the Stern Show. You can make money with your song. Meanwhile, nobody's interested in my stupid song.
That's not true.
But it's fun. But they're fun. It's great. I told him I almost brought my guitar today.
Yeah, why not?
She got me.
Why didn't
She
you
got
go-
me so hyped up. You know.
Yeah.
I said, why didn't he? He goes, I should have asked first. I said, no, you don't have to
You
ask.
know,
Just bring it.
when they opened the new My Father's Place,
Yes.
before he did it, Epi kicked it off with some shows once a month at the Metro in Seacliff.
Okay.
And he said, why don't you kick off and do the first one?
That would have been
And I
great.
said, that'd be fun. And I got out my guitar, and after the second song, my hand felt like somebody had taken a hammer to it.
Oh, wow.
And I called him up and said, I can't do it. You know, I'm on fire for a song. I barely get through the second one, and after that, my hand's like, please, no more, please, you know.
Wow.
How weird.
And meanwhile, it
Carpal
only
tunnel?
take five times playing before you get your calluses back. But you know,
Do you practice often? Like
I haven't
during,
picked up the guitar
during
in
a month.
year.
Like how often do you practice?
No,
Not at all.
I haven't picked it up in a
Didn't
year.
you
probably.
bring a guitar in when you played with Jam that night, or no?
Yes, he brought his guitar that night.
So you played then.
when I played with?
When you
Jam.
were in here,
Joe
that's on the
DeZasia.
music show. We did. That was
Yeah,
up here.
yeah, but that was literally the first time I'd picked up my guitar in a long time. But
Wow.
I love it, you know. And oh, man.
And that was a great show that
My
night.
ex-wife
Yeah.
used to get so mad at me because she'd say you're so melodramatic. But to me, and anybody says I'm lying, I don't care. When I open my guitar case and take out the guitar, it's like calling up an old girlfriend that dumped you.
Right.
You know, it's like, because if I start playing, all of a sudden I'll be like, you know, these songs aren't bad. I could write more. You know, it's like, it must be what it's like for a heroin addict.
Yeah.
And like, you know, don't get carried away. And so
Well, man, if
I
you love
tell
it that
Nancy, I
much.
can't take out my guitar because it puts me in, you know, the door was so slammed in my face. Meanwhile, I don't know how hard I tried or didn't try. And then meanwhile, 15 years on the Stern Show, anytime somebody played one note of mine, it got stuffed down my throat. Like, you know, like got made of unmercifully. But,
Oh,
that,
they-
was, but,
yeah,
but
but they-
that was fine. That
Yeah.
was, you know, that was the whole deal.
But they line by word by word, line by line, they broke it apart.
But if you did that to, you know,
Anything.
I want to hold you. I'll tell you what really sealed the fucking deal. Like I did a one-man show with ever heard the Bolton Center?
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
out
sure.
in
Okay.
Bayshore.
Yeah.
So I said, all right, I'm going to play my guitar and do some songs and tell my jokes and tell my stories, which I had done a couple times. I did it at Dix Hills for like 600 people and killed. And it was like I was shining pictures, like I think we had 50 pictures, and the guy I worked with was like put up a picture of my mother and put up a picture of my old song type, my song categories. I mean, my joke categories, and so I was just riding shotgun on my own pictures, and it was
Right.
off the cuff,
That's
but
cool.
not totally off the cuff because I'm working off the pictures, which is the greatest cue card you could have.
Sure.
It was one of the crazy things in my life. I'm up there, and I got 500, 600 people out there, a lot of family, a lot of people, and they're putting up pictures, and I'm like riding shotgun on the pictures. And the picture of my mother when she was 18 years old, and she was just beautiful.
Wow.
And I said, and there's Dot. And I went to start talking, and
You got verklempt.
I got a lump in my throat and it almost broke out. And meanwhile, me and my mother battled our whole lives. And I said to the crowd, I said, you know what? I got songs, I got jokes, I got stories, I got 40 years experience, I got everything I need for this show. I was not ready for an emotional jolt, which I didn't anticipate.
Wow.
And it was like, it was a horrible, beautiful moment. You know, it was incredible.
Yeah.
But it was crazy great, and I have no idea what we were talking about.
But I think that's. I'm sorry. I think that's a great idea. That's, that's what used to be.
So here
calling
I am at
around
the
with.
Bolton Center,
Right.
and telling jokes and killing these people. And I sat down and played a song, maybe two songs, and then I told another joke or two. And they're laughing. You know, I do crowd savers when they're laughing, you say stupid shit.
Right.
Right.
But the biggest laugh I got the whole night was I said a joke, and after the joke I said, "You better laugh or I'll play another song." And they went wild. And to me that was like, put that thing in the fucking case where it belongs and put it back in the shelf.
Ah, come on, it's all in good
Yeah,
fun.
no, of course it's in good fun, but you have no idea when you have a raw spot, right? You know, that was my button.
But Robin Eve is watching, so say hello to your new friend, Robin.
Hey, Robin.
And Don Sill's watching.
And Don, I'm telling everybody that we're part of a mutual admiration society. So you guys officially have one fan, and I officially have two. So I guess I'm winning. But your songs are great. You know, they're very heartfelt. You know, like. But, you know, of course they are. Like, another weepy song. All right, here's one of my weepy songs, you know. It's like, you know, it's such a respite. You get to a instrumental song. It's like, wow, that's not that depressing, you know, because the guy didn't say anything. But thanks. I'm having fun, Robin. Hope you're enjoying. And Don.
I think that's what you could be doing. Traveling, you know, touring, doing theaters around the country, doing your little storytelling, you know, with the pictures, the music. I think it's a great idea.
You know, people just aren't interested. They're just not. You know, I'm ready to
know if I
roll
agree
it up
with
the
that.
flagpole again. That's why I want to talk to Joe about running it up the flagpole here, because it's a whole different animal now. Because you can put it on the internet, you know, and the people, instead of being out in Kansas City and having people say put that thing back in the case, they can do it via email. You know?
But you really think people aren't interested?
I
think if you go to places that you really haven't been to a lot, I think a lot of the Stern fans will come out to hear what you have to say.
And it's so fun, and the songs go back so far, and it's like there's one song that I play that's like, this is the new version because I updated it in 1980. You know, when I got close to Rodney, I said I got to add a Rodney verse to this song. You know, so it's fun, it's interesting, and then by talking about it, listen. I need people to send me an email so me and Andy know whether we're wasting our time coming into this place. And I swear to God, you're going to get a word in. If all you got to do is tell me to shut the fuck up, Andy. That's the only way you get to talk. Jokeland@AOL.com. JOKELAND at AOL.com. I have somebody who answers my emails. I answer all emails. And Jokeland.com. All my gigs are on there. I just got a new gig in Winchester, Virginia. Is it West Virginia? I think it's Virginia.
I thought you said it was Maryland.
Okay, I don't know.
What are you doing? I thought you said it was Maryland on the way.
It's very, you know, what the hell?
It's all the same thing.
It's
all the same thing.
Bright.
Winchester, Tinsfieldville, Iowa.
Bright Box Theater in Winchester, Virginia.
Oh, you said
Bright
Mar-
Box.
But right there, it's
Bright Box.
everything is close. You know, like Virginia, West Virginia, you blow a fart, they smell it in 3 states. So, and I worked for this guy years ago, and and it's fun down there. You know, and the huge fans. You know, just like Philadelphia. Anybody.
Right.
In the suburbs of Philadelphia, and anybody in the suburbs, not Washington as much as the suburbs, because the people going back and forth with
Right.
the people, especially Washington, because Howard came from there, and that's where I first got turned on to him and everything. But I was telling Eric, and
That's me.
stop me if I told this a million times on here, but I was looking at it to see if it was too far to drive to go do a gig. And then I look, and the Virginia Beach is way south of that, okay? And I'm like, wow. And the Virginia Beach Comedy Club, I used to work all over the place, driving all over for no money. And when I started on the Stern Show, I was there when I wasn't on the road. And this is a long, like an 8-hour drive, maybe more, maybe less, but in that vicinity.
Yeah.
I drove all the way to the Virginia Comedy Club and literally pulled into the parking lot. And the owner, Ricky Cheeks, this guy had a scar from ear on his throat to his ear. I don't know if he had an
Because he insulted. Yeah, he
I
insulted.
don't know if he had an operation or whether he said the wrong thing to slash.
Francis. Yeah, right.
And I get out of the car. He says, "You got to call home." Now, me and my wife never spoke to each other on the phone because it was so fucking expensive in 1983.
A lot of
'Cause you had to pay per
dimes.
minute.
Yeah.
God,
Right.
it was crazy.
That was always the
And,
2 rings. Give
And
me
we're
2
way
rings.
beyond
Right.
"Hello, honey, how are you? Good night, sweetheart." You know, fuck you. You know, So he says, "You got to call home right away." And I'm like, "My parents are dead. The house burnt down. Somebody's killed. Something happened."
Yeah.
And I call home, and the first thing Nancy says is, "Are you sitting down?"
Oh,
Now,
no.
now
you're
the
having
whole
a heart
family is
attack.
dead.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Howard Stern just got fired from WNBC. I'm like, is that all? I'm working 1 day a week and not getting paid. It's not like this is going to end my fucking life. Jesus Christ, I almost died of a heart
Yeah.
attack. So Howard, gets fired, gets rehired. I'm on the show 1 day a week. And it's enough months later, these comedy clubs, you work maybe twice a year, 3, once you're in their rotation and the people like you, it's worthwhile to bring you back again.
Right.
And I killed in Virginia Beach. And that's another story too. So I go down to work. I drive the 8 hours to Virginia Beach, pull into the parking lot. I swear to God, it was Groundhog's Day. I pulled in the same parking lot. He's sitting in the same chair on the, this is Virginia. So he's sitting in a rocking chair on the porch of the comedy club, but this is the South. And he says, "You got to call home again." I don't know if he said again. He said, "You got to call home." I'm like, well, somebody's dead this time.
It's got to be.
And I go in, and Nancy says, "Howard wants you to call him." Is that all?
Yeah, right.
And I called up, and he got on the phone and said, "Listen, Monday we're going to mornings, and I want you to come on 2 days a week. I need a price." So that was the two times to the same comedy club, the same parking lot, the same. I mean, that's just so fucking.
I think
odd.
what happens now is you go down there. He's going to say you got to call home.
And I'll get my job back.
And Howard's going to say, "This is my last year. I want you back for the last year."
So
that's
I'm
my
down.
opinion.
I like
I used to call in when I was
Oh, we got a call. You want to take the call?
no.
Oh,
I used to call in when I was on the road. I'd call in, either play Stump the Joke Man or something. It was kind of cool to call in at WNBC. I called in from jail. We went out drinking after the show, or whatever it was. I don't know what night of the week. And they said, "Come on, we're drinking Long Island iced teas." And I'm like, "Hey, I'm from Long Island.
Right.
Where I
Right,
come
right.
from, it's called iced tea, not Long Island iced tea." Meanwhile, I drank beer. I never drank booze.
Yeah.
I must have had 3 or 4 of these things.
Right.
I was asleep at a traffic light. And when there's a banging, the lady cop is banging on the window with a
Oh wow.
billy club.
right.
Yeah.
So I go to jail, and I guess I woke up, at noon or whatever, or 3 o'clock, whatever, and I wound up. My one phone call from jail was I called the fucking Stern Show. Then nobody had any idea. Nancy had no idea because I had had a DWI like 6 months before.
Oh, wow.
And I had gone to the classes and all that shit.
Right.
I told Ricky Cheeks, thank God he was a mobster. I said, listen, you got to get this swept under the rug. I don't care what it costs. I'll rob a bank. This has got to be under. And the fucking guy, I think it cost me $2 or $3 grand, but whatever he had to do, he fucking made it go away. And this is like 1986 or 5. It was just before
Dewey's really
you couldn't hit a button and find out if the guy had any DW around the world.
Right.
Especially Virginia,
Sure.
So that's my history.
Caller, are you still there?
So no.
Oh, I'm
So we
We finally got a call. I just wanted to finish my story. I apologize. I didn't mean to be rude. Please call back.
All right, here we go.
I call the show and say who's got a joke. Hey, I'm calling from Virginia Beach.
Yep. Son of a gun.
No good.
Well, might be having issues with the phones again today, but we'll work it out.
Oh, you there? Hello.
The lady cop.
Oh, I heard.
Hello.
Billy Club. Right?
Hello.
So I go to jail.
Are you there?
Hello. You're live on the air.
Yes, I woke up.
They're on delay.
You're on delay, but you're live on the air.
And I wound up.
You can hang
my
up.
one phone
They're
call.
not answering. All right, they're just playing our show back to.
He didn't get to the part of call back yet.
Bear with us. We are still having phone issues, but try anyway, and we'll hopefully get you.
We're in technical difficulties because we're working with Tony, Eric, and Sallie.
Pretty much.
And Andy Seaman. What's your last name?
Fleagle, close enough.
Regal.
The Regal Fleagle.
Andy Regal.
He's the Regal Fleagle.
That was the restaurant in Three's Company.
Regal
Hey,
Beagle.
where's Leo?
Leo?
I liked your son. He's a good-looking kid. I told him to take acting lessons.
Leo.
I'm not fucking
Yeah.
around. That's a handsome kid.
Yeah, thanks.
Get out
He
of
calls
radio.
Sam Leonardo. Yeah.
He's a good-looking
Yeah.
kid.
I don't know about Leo. I'm thinking the Conan thing was much more accurate.
You're out of your fucking mind. Who wants to look like Conan
Yeah,
O'Brien?
I'll
Wouldn't you
say
ever look
Conan.
like Leo?
Did you ever?
Well,
Yeah,
I'd
you
rather.
Did you ever
did.
meet Conan? I met him twice. He was a dick. Both times.
You know what? I'm not saying nothing, but
You don't have to.
he was. Oh, that's a big part of my documentary because Billy talks about it. Because
Billy
that was
Mira?
the day. That was the day that the Jackie puppet really went to the moon. Because Conan, all those guys, nobody wanted to do the Stern Show. Everybody was repulsed by Howard, but Conan was about to lose his job because he had no ratings. So he came on the Stern Show after he'd been on a year, and the rumor was that he was going to get fired, and I think they even offered his job to Howard. I never got any, who knows if that's true or not.
Right.
But he came in, and the first thing that happened when he walked through the door is I wrote this, and Billy picks up the Jackie puppet, and he goes, "It's Conan! Oh, bye-bye!" and so Conan argued with the puppet for like an hour, and it was, I mean, he's having an argument, it was surreal, and it's a puppet that looks like me.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
With Billy doing my voice, with me writing the jokes for the puppet to insult me, and Conan.
Right.
It was just, and everybody's. I've never really looked up the dates, but a lot of people say that after Conan realized that the puppet could say anything to anybody, boom, here came Triumph the Wonder Dog.
Right. That's right.
You know what I mean? Because what are you going to do? Otto and George. Otto had a talk show for a few minutes.
Right.
And I did it a couple times, and it was an impossible thing to do because he's sitting there with a dummy, and he's interviewing you.
Yeah.
Eric's
And if
same
you
thing,
talk
something with
to
a dummy.
Otto, it's the dummy's talking to you. So if you're talking to Otto, you look like an asshole. But if you talk to the dummy, you're talking to the dummy. It was just so fun. Just the premise was crazy, But
Yeah.
What happened with my experience with Conan, and I never found out
Right.
what happened was he had either just gotten his show or just gotten some kind of celebrity. And I think we were at our height. We were doing pretty well. And I went to see him at Caroline's. And I gave the waitress a note to give to him. A totally rude, horrible, comic to comic.
Joke.
Hey, you red-headed piece of shit. You don't really think you got a chance on, whatever.
Right.
But so obviously goofy.
Yeah.
Right.
And I I don't think he ever said hello to me. But
I stand
but
by
I
what
have
I said.
but
Yeah.
there's every chance he never saw the note.
He
It
is
had nothing to do with
dick.
it. No,
Yeah.
no, I'm sure he's all right. I know a lot of guys that roll for him, and they said he's a good guy.
Andy says Billy West is a god. Dennis said Jackie, you look great.
Faggot. Wait till you. I
Jason
just
said,
saw
"Love-
the
love
latest.
Jackie."
I saw the latest version of the documentary the other night.
Oh,
I
okay.
brought them in some new pictures, some new old pictures, and it's so fun. You feel like an idiot watching yourself on TV or
Right.
on whatever you call it, but it's fun and it moves fast and it's very flattering. And Artie's in it now, which is so nice. Like the documentary's taking so fucking long. It's like Artie fell off the wagon, got high, went to jail, came out, went to rehab, and we circled around and got him in time for the documentary. It was so funny.
He looks good now, though.
Oh yeah, and he was
Now
so,
he looks good.
He was so kind to me.
Right.
I mean, but we've always been. People like, oh, it's so great you guys get along. He came on the show 8 months after I left. There was never
right,
any
right. It wasn't like
crossover,
the next
any
day or-
competition, or
Right.
Right.
And
'Cause
he
had
is a
inter-
good cat. He's
they
the
had a lot
only
of people-
person he's not nice to is himself.
Oh, true. They had a lot of people try out for that chair, right? There was
Sallie tried.
Sally tried out for the chair.
It still smells like her.
It was
She wasn't in the chair though. She was.
What was
under
that
the
other
table.
guy they had? Remember AJ Benza?
No.
He wasn't. Didn't he try out for the chair?
He was
But
like
he was like a news correspondent or something.
He was like a gossip columnist for one
Yeah.
of the.
I
One
don't
of the
remember that at all.
Yeah.
They were, all great cat. My friend Ron Zimmerman did it. All kinds of people. It's weird because you put up with a lot of crap. Like, hey, do you want to come in and write jokes and make somebody funny and have them torture you in
Yeah,
between?
rip you
I'm
apart.
up for that.
Yeah, right.
Meanwhile, it's the greatest.
What you in between? Dennis says F Jackie. There
Thank
go.
you. That's very creative. I appreciate it. I do like that because it's so. They started doing that because you could say that on the air. But like a listener called in when Howard put out his second book. There's a chapter about each person in the first book, and then a chapter about each of us in the second book.
Right.
And the chapter about me in the second book called Miss America, the first two words in my chapter is "fuck Jackie," and then he went on for a couple pages saying super nice, flowery stuff, nice
Right.
stuff about what a help I am to the show, blah blah blah. And soon after the book came out, some listener called up, and he took the phone call, and the listener said "F Jackie," which he was reading the book.
Right.
And like a little while later, it was just like the Baba Booey thing. After the second time,
man,
another
yeah.
guy called up and said, F Jackie. And then all of a sudden it was cemented.
Right.
And everything was F Jackie, F Jackie. And I told Carl, I think it was Carl Olio's idea, the guy who owns Olio Records. He said, let's name your next CD F Jackie.
Jackie.
Because then every time somebody says F Jackie, they're plugging my CD, which was just brilliant. Because I was taking credit for a long time until Carl said, by the way, that was my idea. I'm like, oh yeah.
No, the F Jackie, the Baba Booey thing stuck, and the love tape was one of the that thing went on forever.
Gary's loved it, yeah.
Gary's
And that,
Love Tape went
that
on
is
forever.
the beauty of the show was how honest everybody was, and everybody was forthcoming. Not long after we went to mornings, and maybe. I don't know. I know we had gotten to K-Rock because we were in the first room in K-Rock. And I said, Howard, I got to tell you, I had a sex dream about Robin last night that was so graphic and so real and so crazy. And she was like, of course, appalled. And Fred and Howard. I said, listen, you couldn't make this up. I mean, it was real. I woke up in a sweat, and like a week or so later, Robin goes, Howard, I have to come clean. I had a sex dream about Jackie last night.
Oh my goodness.
I mean,
that's so funny.
And for somebody to come across, I mean,
Right.
and she wasn't making it up,
Right.
but she was being honest. That I said, I know you want it. Get up on all fours and bark. God damn it. So great. But I mean,
yeah,
that's
great.
the same as Gary bringing in the tape. Like
I can't believe you brought in that tape.
the greatest of all time is Howard said, I want everybody to go home and ask their mother if they ever had anal sex. And like, yeah, sure, that's in my job description. I think I actually told my mother that was one of my this is my assignment.
Did you really?
And I said my mother has a great sense of humor. Anybody else would be appalled. She just said, it's none of your fucking business. But
Should ask my mom.
But he asked Fred. He
I would
asked
ask her.
Fred, and Fred said, "Yeah, I asked my mother, and she said yes." That's the kind of soldier Fred is. He asked his mother, and she said yes, and he reported in. We were like flabbergasted, like what? Just so great.
Lenny DeCanto wants to know if you remember playing at the Purple Onion.
Orest. That was the name of the owner. Orest. That was so fucking long ago.
Where's the Purple Onion? Where was it? New York?
Blue Point or someplace out there.
Oh, it was in New York, on Long Island.
Way out on Long Island.
Okay.
The name of the owner was Orest, and there was a couple girls that used to come to see my band, and there was one girl I wanted so badly to nail. And then the band broke up and it was long gone, and all of a sudden this girl shows up at the Purple Onion, and they were redoing the place. And upstairs there were like planks, but there was no floor.
Right.
Yeah.
And we got it on the crisscrossing
Wow.
2x4s
That must have been
in
comfortable.
the ceiling. I don't. If you're out there, lady, I don't know who you are, but we had so much fun. But this was so long ago that we had just started doing shows at the, I think it's Cinnamon or wherever, a few places, and Minervini decided to take off for Florida, and he went to Florida for a couple months. And me and Jim Myers ran the show at the Purple Onion. And I remember Myers saying, "Listen, are we cutting Richie in on the take?" And I'm like, "And you and what planet are you from?" So we're doing shows for Oris, and it was so far away. And I think we got $5 a piece, but the MC got $20. But on the way home, we'd stop at the strip club. What's the name of the strip club in Huntington there? The
Gossip.
No.
That's Melville.
Yeah,
that's
not
brand new.
Huntington.
The
Yeah.
old one, the Cimarron City, whatever. It's right on Jericho Turnpike. It's
Oh, I
still
know what
there.
you're talking-
It's still there. We'd stop
the name of
there,
it?
and if you were the MC,
Carousel?
yeah, the carousel, and if you were the
I don't know how I
MC,
know that.
Yeah.
if you were the MC, you had to buy the first round, and of course we could only afford one round, and one round was $25.
Oh, poor
So if you
guy.
were the MC,
You got nothing.
you lost $5 for the night, and we
Well,
had
he
so
got to
much
see
fun.
boobies.
So much fun out there, and Oris was a great guy. I'll never forget him. He was cross-eyed, big, thick glasses, and it was what the name was it? Ask the guy what the name of the town. It was so far away.
Lenny, what was the name of the town? Lenny DeCanto.
Blue Point, maybe. Is
Yeah,
that far out?
it's far
Not
out.
Yeah,
that
Blue-
far. I mean,
Well,
it's
it's
not
far.
35 minutes from here.
Hey, Jackie, did you have a lot of groupies when you used to play your music?
No. Oh, when we played music?
Yeah. I don't imagine comics get many groupies,
comics,
but musicians.
but I have to say no because groupies connotates luscious girls dripping over the
So we're
band.
doing shows.
You
for-
know,
Live on the air. Who's this?
with
Yeah,
us-
this is Lenny DeCanto. Jackie's just talking
hey,
about
Lenny, what's
Purple
up?
Onion.
$5.
Hey, Lenny, could you turn down your phone or whatever you're watching the show on?
Yeah,
Thanks,
how's
bud.
that better?
Yeah, thank you.
Where was that? What was
Jackie. That was in Brookhaven. Near
Brookhaven?
Belport.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
far.
I knew it was. I
Belport.
knew it was
Okay,
really far away, and
Yeah,
I
that's
remember
far.
that like it's yesterday because that was in the very. That was when it was Bartlett, Nelson, Murphy, Hawthorne, Woods, the original Ferrantino, the original gang
Right,
from
right.
almost there was a
Forgot about
transplant
Ferrantino.
from.
And Oris, he was a pretty high dude.
He was a really good guy, and he had a you know what? I swear to God, he had a nice looking wife with great breasts.
Yeah, Nancy.
How would I remember
Nancy,
that?
Nancy.
Am I wrong? Or
Well,
am I-
how do you think he had a nice set of breasts?
you know, you just don't. And he
you
had
don't.
he had big thick glasses, and I said, God, I can't imagine how big her tits look with those glasses on.
And ever since the Purple Onion days, I've been a great fan of yours. Actually, I just brought my kids. I just saw you at McGuire's. Actually, I saw you in a parking lot, and I was talking about the Long Island Music Hall of Fame inductees the first night. I ran into you there. You gave me one of your CDs. And again, just been a great fan of yours.
That's very sweet. That's a long. That's like that might even be. That's early '79.
Yeah, because you were just talking like you've been doing your gig for like 40 years, and that's probably more than 40 years ago.
You know, it's so funny because when we were doing the Purple Onion, Minervini went down to Florida for a couple months, right?
Right.
And then he came back, and we're all working, and like we're like, wow, Richie's got some great new stuff. Where did he wrote some really good stuff, and then a couple months later, the guys from Florida move up to New York, and it's like
Same thing.
it's all the
I even
guys.
think I was telling my sister that I took my nephew to your show in McGuire's, and she goes, "Oh, I remember him from the Purple Onion. After the shows in the morning, we'd go to her friend Ginger's house. You would come along, have breakfast there, maybe partying a little bit all night." And it was just a great story. And my kids, from me now love you.
No,
so
wait,
I
is
just wanted
that-
to say thank you, Jackie.
Whose house would we go to?
This girl, Ginger Carroll, at the time.
Do you remember that's not the girl I'm talking about? Do you remember the names of her friends?
My sister's name, they called her Roy. Her name's Rosemary, but she went by Roy, R-O-I.
Is she
And-
still alive? I hope.
Yeah, she's still alive.
Ask her who's the girl from the Purple Onion that used to get it on with me. I would love to.
I don't know, but you were talking about that upstairs
Could be
place.
her.
I spent a little time up there myself.
Yeah, well,
But-
it was like they were like redoing it or something, right?
Yeah, originally it was like another restaurant, and it was an apartment up there, and and when they took it over as the Purple Onion, I guess the apartment was gone. It was just a place to go hang out. I don't want to say too much more.
I understand.
But you can send, if you don't want to say more, that's fine. But send the pictures over.
Yeah, send the pictures.
Okay, if I ever get some pictures, I will send them down to you
Ask
on
your
your
sister.
website,
Ask your
Jackie,
sister ask your sister which one of them was the one that fooled around with Jackie
Fooled around with Jackie up on upstairs on the messed up
planks.
on the
plank.
On the
2x4s. Yeah.
And send him an email at jokeland@aol.com. Give him the
Yes,
address.
I will.
JOKELAND@AOL.com. Anyway, listen, I'll tell you what. Anybody who sends me an email, I will send you back unpublished stories.
What if they send you nudie pictures?
I don't want nudie pictures. You can send anything you want.
Forget it then.
Well, the guys can send dick pictures. I like that.
Yeah.
But anybody who writes to me, I will send you back some fun stuff because I just want to know if any of you, I come all the way over here to Levittown and these guys swear people are listening, but I think it's me and Lenny and that's it.
Yeah. Well,
Actually, we have a lot of listeners today.
I saw you coming on live. I was like, all right, great. I started, listening to it. And I'm still listening to it.
Lenny, email me, jokeland@aol.com, and let me send you some of the early stories from comedy. Didn't make it into my book, and you'll get a big kick out of it.
Okay, Jackie, I will. All right. Give me a little bit of time. I'll have to do a little research, and I'll talk to my sister. I'll try to find those names out
Oh,
for
well,
you.
fuck that. Just email me, period, and I'll write back to you.
Yay.
Hey!
Okay.
And I'll write
Even
back
though
to you.
somebody else is writing reading your emails.
No, nobody's reading. Well, I have a guy who reads my emails. Me.
Okay. All right, you guys have a great day, and good talking with you,
You
guys.
too, thanks
All
for
right, Lenny,
calling.
thanks
All
for
right.
calling in.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Isn't that cool?
See that? You ask if I have groupies? Look at this.
Oh, well
See?
done.
Good talk.
Wow, you got a Govs Radio tank.
That's one more than
That's
me.
not a tank.
arrived yesterday. It is
Wow.
Oh, look at that.
Same
Nice.
breasts as last week.
Same.
breast. A little perkier, but
Same.
Robin,
Why a
do me
little
a favor.
perkier than
Sit-
last week?
Take the chair and move it more
because I'm
this
wearing
way.
brand new swag from Govs Radio.
Ah.
That's good. I just don't want to have the pull in the way, so move like
Is
a
this the
little bit
first time I've seen you without your guitar?
Maybe.
You got talking to Mike.
I think
Do I
so.
look taller?
more. Talking to the mic.
No, yeah.
I look taller?
Yeah, you look. No, you look different though. I like there's no guitar.
Look at you
there's no-
blush.
Yeah, that's
What's going on?
Blushing. What the fuck
This
is
is the
wrong-
first time I've noticed her actual beauty and not just your talent. See, I've always noticed
Thank
your talent.
you.
Now I'm
That's a
noticing.
good save.
No, it's true. I'm like something
Shouldn't
different
he
about.
blush when he's talking about your talent too? If he was a true guy.
That's right.
Jackie, when's your
does.
birthday?
Valentine's Day.
No, what is it?
Yeah, that's true.
Really?
True.
Jack
Oh.
of Hearts.
Feb 14. Okay, my sister asked.
It's not true.
What is it?
Valentine's Day.
Such a
I thought you meant that's not true that your sister asked.
no. Okay, really?
Is it true you have a
Valentine's Day?
sister?
That's cute.
She has two sisters.
Two sisters.
Yeah.
Wow, line them up. They married?
One is the one who's asking isn't.
You a homo?
Robin's like, oh boy, she's a widow.
I'm already prepared.
She's a widow?
A widow.
I had nothing to do with it.
That's right. You didn't push him down
Francisco
the stairs.
did.
Is that his name? Oh, you mean
No.
Slash?
Slash.
Francis, not Francisco.
If you're going to do callbacks,
Francis,
it's hard
Francisco.
enough for people to get a hold of a callback. But if you use the wrong information, it makes it a little tougher.
Well, that's why I'm sitting here, and that's why you're
Yeah,
you.
the Purple Onion. Yeah, I
You,
remember that place.
you
in
better
Kansas
send an
City.
email to jokeland@aol.com and say, Jackie, my showcase show is coming up. I'm going to screw the pooch. Can you help me write jokes?
By the way, here's my.
When is your show? I thought it was weeks and weeks and weeks.
It is weeks and weeks.
Probably sometime in March.
You're going.
How many?
Can you imagine if
How
Jackie
many weeks
goes?
you got to do it?
You going?
Hell
I'm
yeah.
going.
Well, there's eight classes.
You'll learn to be a comic in 8 weeks. What is this? The Rosie O'Donnell show from that movie Punchline? She goes to a comedy club and says, "I think I want to be a comic," and the next night she's headlining. You know.
I never said that. I never said I'll be a comic in 8 weeks. I never said that.
Nah, you could. You could.
You better send him emails. Say, Jackie, help me with this, please.
Well, everybody, because I keep telling everybody the material is what I'm worried about. I'm not worried about stage presence. I've been doing comedic performing for
Just
25 years.
Say the
So-
stuff, and if they laugh, keep it. And if they don't laugh, get rid of it. And do it a bunch of times, and you're all set. What do you got to do? 6 minutes? 3 minutes?
I think it's 7, I think.
Oh, you're shot.
Yeah, I know. I'm relying heavily on crowd work,
Sucks
I
to be
think.
you.
Are you coming, Jackie? To see
I'm
a
breathing
show?
hard. No, I'll come to his show. I don't care. I've had so many bad experiences on,
Oh, that would be great. Let's get Jackie to come
5
see your
minutes
show.
You guys are going to
Long.
crucify me.
This is going to be great.
I had a how
Yep,
was
me
it?
too.
The first time I went on to Catch a Rising Star,
Yeah.
in the very early, like 1976 or something, was when they first announced that Monday nights you could go and get on stage. I had no idea being a comic. All I knew was I loved to tell jokes, and I thought it'd be interesting to see the show. I went to see the show. Me and my sister's boyfriend, we got there very early, sat right in the front, started drinking, and people came up and did 5 minutes, and they were horrible.
Right.
But in between, sometimes a regular would stop in, like a Ed Bluestone or somebody like that. People that weren't that well known, but they were regulars who were comics, And Kelly,
Ripper.
Clarkson.
Jesus Christ, I I've been around for too long.
McGillis.
So they're hosting and bringing these people on and off and on and off, and 5 minutes is a long time if nobody's laughing. And somebody gets up, and they're doing so bad they bailed.
Right.
And walked off, and the stage is bare. And this drunken girl stumbles on the stage and stumbles her way through a bad joke, and the audience roars because they were so hungry to laugh at something.
Sure.
And so Kelly, what the hell? So Kelly, these guys wound up being great friends of mine for decades. Kelly goes on stage and pats her on the head, said, "Very good, now sit down, you drunken whore," And so he goes, blah, blah, blah. And a few more minutes go by, and they switch MCs, and now David Say is the MC, who became a very good friend. He's the only guy that Carson ever literally discovered himself, like plucked him out at Catch a Rising Star, so he got 7 shots on The Tonight Show. David says 7 shots, 8 with the rerun. Okay, that's it. And he didn't blossom into anything major, but Carson kept putting him up because this was the guy he chose.
Right.
So David's the MC, and the same thing happens. Somebody bails. Nobody's up there. And Archie, was sitting right in front. He says, "Get your ass up there." So I went up on stage and told what I would consider the oldest, stalest, but great long joke.
Right.
And they stayed with me. And as I'm telling the joke, I saw David, he's over here, walks in through the velvet curtain, but he stood there. He let me finish, you
Right.
know. I didn't know him, of course, at the time. And, brought the house down. They went berserk.
Do you remember the joke?
Please.
All right.
And so we get done, and as I was walking out, he said, that's a really good fucking joke, And I said, well, you know that joke. He says, I never heard that joke. And I swear to you, I swear on my mother, that was one of those light bulb moments in your life where,
Right.
bing, the MC at Catch a Rising Star in Manhattan hadn't heard that joke.
Right.
Meanwhile, I think every kid that grew up in America, parallel to me, of course knows that joke.
Okay.
Because we all grew up in America. Meanwhile, nobody knows the joke. Anybody that heard it forgot it 10 minutes after they heard.
Right.
And I realized if he doesn't know the joke, maybe there's other people that had. And it turns out nobody knows the jokes, least of all the comedians. And me and him years later wound up being great friends. But it's just, I have no idea what we're talking about. But
Neither do we. But it's
So,
fine.
the joke and the writing and the getting up first timers.
so it was so exciting to do that. So, but 5 minutes is a long time. But that's why if you have a few things that you know are going to get laughs,
Right.
you use those. And if you have something that you're sure is going to get a laugh, you save it.
Well, all right.
Even
that's-
if you only wind up doing 1 minute, you want to go off on a laugh. You know, Sinbad used to be the middle act when I worked with him. And I'm the headliner. Sinbad and he's so charming, and everybody loved him, but he had no material. But he would go on and on because he wanted to go off on a laugh, and he didn't have anything funny. He was just charming. And I'd be like John Corcoran. I'd be like, John Cochran was in Tampa. I'm just, you got to get him the fuck. He's been on there 50 minutes. You know, the audience is looking at their watch. But the joke was the Italian farmer and his daughter, you know, load up the wagon with all the vegetables from the year's crop, and they go into town and they sell the crop.
Yeah.
And they get a huge wad of cash, and they're on their way home, and all of a sudden, cars, and all of a sudden, a bunch of bandits ride up, you know, and say, stop, you know, and the farmers freak out. Oh, I work so hard, I'm going to lose everything. And she says, Papa, give me the money. And he hands her a big wad of bills, and she lifts up her skirt and stuffs the cash in her twat. And they say, all right, get down. And I don't know how I said it on stage, but, you know, it just made the visual. And the band say, get down, and the farmer and his daughter get down, and they search him, and they search the wagon, and they can't find anything. So they attach their horses to the wagon, and they take off. And he said, I work so hard, I lose everything, it's not fair, I work. She says, Papa, Maria saved the money. I'm saving the money. What are you talking? And she lifts up her skirt and pulls out this huge wad of bills. And he says, Maria, you saving the money. Oh! He starts crying again. She says, Papa, I'm saving the money. Why you still a cry? He says, Maria, if we had brought your mama, we could have saved the wagon and the horses. And they went fucking batshit. They went batshit. And I sat back down, and Archie was like he'd just given birth. He was like, so everybody slapped me on the back. You know? So the next time I go in there, I wait online forever and get a number. And you're waiting, and if you're like number 15, somebody goes up,
Right.
and somebody else goes up, and then a regular walks in and does 20 minutes. And then somebody else goes up, so another regular walks. David Brenner walks in, does 50 minutes. So you're getting pushed back and back and back and back.
Right.
So I had like 5 or 6 pages of jokes, of all the old jokes I had about relationships, all wound in about me and my wife. And you got to know this shit so cold. But, you know, I don't know anything, you know, and I'm trying to, on the way in, I'm trying to
Remember.
last minute memory.
Right.
And so all this stuff about me and my wife, and me and my wife, and me and my wife. Finally, it's my turn. It's 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning. Place is empty. It's like one table of like 4 tourists because they paid $3 cover. They're going to get their money's worth.
Right.
So it's like a guy and his wife and either their daughter and her boyfriend or their son and or their kids, whatever it is. But there's like a 4 top, maybe a scattered other people. And I'm so nervous. And it's me and my wife. And I go up on stage. The first thing out of my fucking mouth was me and my girlfriend. And I realized that every single thing in my thing is me and my wife. So I got to switch everything to girlfriend. Like, I have no idea what came out of my mouth. All I know is about maybe 2 minutes. I'll give myself the bit. Maybe 2 minutes into my spiel, the guy sitting there with his wife and his kids, and I can hear him to this day. I wound up being very good friends with Rick Newman, that owns Sketch Rising Star, and this is one of his favorite stories, because I'm such a fucking loser. I'm up there dying such a horrible death, and this guy turns to his family in a stage whisper and says, "How much can we take?" I can still hear that fucking guy 40 years later. And I finally got my nerve to go back in. I'm going to use my guitar. And I go with my friend Peter, who's just a fucking wild man, just the greatest guy, Peter de Guzman. And, he lives in the city, and his family, great friends. His father, 1953, Hugh Hefner walked in. He was a big advertising guy. And he wanted Peter's father to not advertise in, but to do the advertising for his magazine, Playboy.
Right.
And Peter's father said, "No, the country's not ready for a magazine like this." So that's Peter's claim to fame. So his father broke his balls for the rest of his life. So Peter and me show up, and I get a number, and I'm going to play a song. And I'm going to... That song, Round Every Bend, did you listen to that? So, it's a stupid country song, but it's fun. It's cute, fast. And I also used to do joke sponsors in the band. We'd sing our songs, and we'd tell jokes, and we had gag sponsors, where we'd sometimes hold up a prop. And there's all kinds of great stories. For 10 years, we did these stupid, horrible sponsors, and I had a suitcase full of them. And every time we worked in these same gigs, like Neptune's Pub or the Right Track Inn, and there was a bartender at the Neptune Pub named Sal, and he loved us, But after X amount of times of seeing my band, you're probably ready to hang yourself. Years later, I'm working at Chuckles in Mineola.
Yep.
And I see the suitcase, and I'm like, it'd be fun to bring the suitcase and do some of the old sponsors. So I bring the suitcase to Chuckles, go up on stage, and I pull out one of the old sponsors to do it, and I hold it up, and I look down, and there's fucking Sal. So he must have thought I told those same jokes every night for less than you. How do you explain? No, this is no. So you can't make that shit up. So I get up at Catch the Rising Star, and I had the sponsor called The Pit and the Pendulum, which was the new unisex genital spray. The new unisex genital deodorant spray.
Deodorant?
Yes.
And The Pit and the Pendulum, which is fun. And it went on and on and on. And it was funny. And I went up, and I got my guitar on, and I'm holding the spot, and it's a spray bottle. The new unisex genital deodorant and disinfectant spray, The Pit and the Pendulum. Use it now to spray your pole, your hole, whatever your case may be. Punctuated with the sprays. And it was funny. And I get done, and as I turn around to put it down on the shelf, they're applauding. And I'm like, I got this. I did it. Fuck that last time. That was an anomaly.
Yeah.
And I turn around, and I start this song. First swipe of the song, I didn't break the high E string. I didn't break the B string. I broke the A string, the second thickest string, which is unheard of. Nobody breaks the A string.
Right. Okay.
I don't have the presence of mind to say, let's forget the song. I proceeded to finish. That was on the first swipe. I did the whole fucking song with to them. It was so atrocious, and I'm shitting myself. Meanwhile, Peter is in the back of the room, bombed. I get done with the song. The people are throwing up, and I get done with the song. Fucking Peter stands on his chair and screams and applauds, which just underlines the absurdity of the whole thing. That somehow I got through. I probably did another 2 minutes and said, "How much can you take?" And that was my total Catch a Rising Star experience. I said, I'm going to stay home on Long Island and get famous. So I did.
Troy's got a question for you. He said, been hearing your laugh a lot on Howard recently. It's obvious from the way that Howard laughs that he misses it. Can you ask Jackie if there's any plans to visit the Stern Show again anytime soon?
They would never have me. I wonder. It's always Jackie's such a cheap bastard. But if they're getting mileage out of my laugh, shouldn't I get some kind of compensation on some level from,
Yes.
Yeah,
it's-
absolutely.
Yeah, you get to do this.
But they own, they own everything I ever did.
Right.
But and also, if they're saying a kid got hit by a truck and they play my laugh, that's also, it's as funny as it is, it's
Right. It's a big part of the show. There should be something.
if they're still doing that, maybe they're hearing my laugh because they're playing reruns, which
he's live Monday through Wednesday.
I don't.
Is that all he does now, Monday through
It's
Wednesday?
flattering
That's it.
that they use it.
Wow.
Yeah,
It was his birthday today. I actually sent him a happy birthday.
Did he respond?
No, of course not. But I wrote Howard. It was funny. I said,
now it
Howard,
is.
happy birthday. At this point, you got to be catching up with me. It sure is lucky for your A-list celebrities that now, thanks to you, they have a channel to get to me. And I said, if you do nothing else, please do everything you can do to get fucking Trump out of there. Love Jackie. And that was, and
think we
it
got it.
was all sincere,
Hey, you're live on the air. Who's this?
Hey, how's it going? It's Andy.
Hey, Andy, what's going on?
No, this is Andy.
The thing is I have this burning question I really need answered.
8 inches.
Wow.
Around.
That's incredible.
It's actually too wide for a lot of women.
I actually want to know how many chicks has Andy Flegel fucked at the Purple Onion?
Andy Flegel?
Holy shit. Good question.
Andy Flegel was not alive for 20 years. What do you got, about 30?
38.
40? Andy Flegel was born. In fact, Andy Flegel might be my child. No, when are you going to let Andy talk? When are you going to tell Jackie to shut
Why are you
up?
asking him?
Jackie can talk. He can talk whatever. I barely saying anything.
Well, you should have sat him between us,
Why?
because I forgot he was there till this guy said something.
I can sit in your lap so you remember I'm here.
All right.
Yeah, move over.
Robin's here too. Robin Eve
Eve.
Music.
Robin, what do you think of the songs that Jackie sent you?
He caved my head in.
Caved your head in.
Caved
Wow.
your
On
head
multiple
in.
Quite the answer.
multiple ways, multiple times. I was not expecting it at all, and he's one of the biggest surprises I think I've ever had.
Second biggest.
That's the truth. That's the truth. Every level, the musicianship, how he hears things.
I did try. I
how he
did
writes.
explain a lot of the musicianship is not me. I wrote all the
Yeah.
songs I sent you, but
Yeah, really.
The best
the
lead
storytelling.
guitarist.
I mean, you can. The storytelling comes across with his comedy. One of the things I told him. I mean, you guys, you're not new. So, I had said to him that, like the dirty humor has not necessarily been my humor, shall we say. However, I've been routinely surprised at how he can make me laugh because of how he delivers it.
Right.
Yes.
And
Absolutely right.
so hearing
Same
that
as my sex.
hearing that carry over to stories that you can actually place yourself in or feel like you can relate to or even just want to bring on a trip with you up to the mountains. I wasn't expecting that, and it's been a great journey so far, and we're not done.
That is very flattering. I told her that.
Hey guys! Just before I go, I don't want to tell anybody how to do their jobs, but get the camera off of Jackie and keep it on Robin.
I would have suggested that. I don't even know. The cameras they have here are about the size of my thumb. So I don't know where the thing's pointing. I'm not even sure it's plugged in.
All right, guys, have a great day.
You too,
Bye,
Andy.
Andy.
Thanks for calling. You want to?
What I liked is I
sponsors?
was listening. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, what I liked, I was listening to the show while I was on my way here to get an idea of what I'm walking into, obviously.
Sure. You never know.
And
here.
and I liked when I was hearing you talk about possibly revisiting it. And, I was doing some snooping yesterday, and I found some of the tracks on the album that you had released, I want to say in 2008. That's available through Amazon Echo, and so it can be downloaded. But
I don't even know what Amazon Echo is.
You know when you have
little
like
thing.
If you go to Amazon.com
I know.
and search "you" and "happy endings,"
Alexa.
you can hear the audio.
Happy endings, but not the oldest. Not like we had
No, "happy endings" is up there.
I know that.
and that was some of the first tracks that we shared.
You know what
we
Ale-
had a CD called Holiday Sampler a billion years ago. That's a great story. When we had the band in the 70s, the girl that I wrote the love songs about, the
Betty's
To Whom It
song?
May Concern, Betty's Tune, all of
Yeah.
There was this girl I was just fucking flipped over, and she said, "Don't fall for me. It's not mutual." But of course, a guy is a guy. I'm just fucking nuts for her. I'm 29.
she actually said it's not mutual.
I'm 20.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that makes you fall even harder.
I'm 29. She's 27. I'm driving around in a hearse at the age of 31, and in 1977, whatever. And she's a school teacher, an art teacher at Dix Hills, and she's our neighbor. And oh my fucking God! So she says, "Take a hike." Or she didn't tell me to take a hike. She just, the way I tell it is like I was walking in a parade, and one day somebody just plucked me out of the parade and put somebody else in the parade. So I'm out of my mind. And the guy that owned the Neptune pubs, there was 2 Neptune pubs, we sold out every Thursday and every Saturday, whatever it was. So he's worried I'm going to commit suicide. And he doesn't give a fuck about me. That's 2 nights that his club is full, right?
Yeah.
So we had a song called The Pot Song that Howard played unmercifully all the time.
Right.
And we used to go, the place would go nuts. And the very end of the song was, roll up, I don't think I sent you this one, roll up the reefer, we'll have some illegal fun. And the place would go nuts. And we'd do like 2 or 3 encores of roll up the reefer, and the place would go crazy. So Vinny says, "You know what? I'm gonna back a single. I want you guys to cut a single. I think we got a 50-50 chance," which I still don't know what it means. My friend Kevin, the guy who was in the band that played at the same club a different 2 nights, is now married to my sister 40 years ago. That's how crazy this whole
Wow.
thing is. So Vinny says and we're going to do it at Kevin's studio. And to this day, Kevin says to me, "I think we got a 50-50 chance." Of what? Who knows what he's talking about? He's a crazy old Italian that we loved. We thought he was so old. Meanwhile, he's probably 4 years older than us. So I say, "All right, we can do a song, but you got to let us do To Whom It May Concern on the other side." That was the deal I made, because it's a love song I wrote for this girl that I still don't think she ever heard. And the guy playing guitar in it was Jim Teep. Did you ever hear that name before? Jim. He's a local singer-songwriter. And so
It's a beautiful song.
so we record the song, and we have a free-for-all with it. And the people loved when we played the love song. They loved when we played the pot song, and the people would go nuts to it every night. And the end of the song was "Roll up the reefer, we'll sell." And at the very end, whenever people smoke marijuana, the gang has fun. And then it goes, and the place would go fucking berserk. 10 years, 20, 30, however many years later, me and Nancy put out the Off-Hour Rockers Holiday Sampler, which is a couple of the songs live from my father's place, like I sent you,
77.
and To Whom It May Concern, and Nancy's song called It's Christmas, which is an incredible Christmas song that still hasn't, it will someday see the light of day, and the pot song. And we put out the holiday sampler. We probably sold 10.
Right.
Now, you think anybody that's on the Howard Stern show, you're printing gold.
Right,
You know, I
right.
used to sell a lot of CDs, a lot of dirty joke CDs. But anybody who listens to Stern show wasn't like, let's hear Jackie's music. Especially if I sang one note, Howard would stuff it down my throat.
Right.
When I booked Governors, I love these stories. When I booked Governors, when we first started Governors, they insisted on 4 comedians per show. So I'm hosting, and there's 4 comedians per show. And you book people in advance, and people were so hungry because there was no place to work. There was the East Side Comedy Club. I also was booking the Brokerage, and I don't think Chuckles was even around yet.
Okay.
So I'd book it months in advance. And one day, Jimmy Finn comes to me and says, "Listen, we don't want 4 comedians a week. We want 3.
Right.
So I got to go through the next 2 or 3 months of bookings and extract
fucking
one comic per weekend.
Yeah, that's tough.
And these guys, they're counting on their rent 3 months in advance. And there was this guy, what the fuck is that? I'll think of his name. I had Kevin Sullivan on the show that was a guitar player that told jokes and played guitar. And this other guy, and he told jokes and played guitar. And I knew Kevin better. And I called him up and I said, I got to cancel you. And he went nuts on me. I'm like, my friend, I'm just the booker. I booked 4 people. They told me I got to cancel one person per weekend. That is just, that is the story.
Right.
And it's funny because years and years later, the guy wound up doing a play called Late Night about a late night comedian that was funded by Rory Rosegarten. And it was, of all the coincidences, and it played one night and got canceled. I can't believe I can't think of the guy's name. So, meanwhile, he goes on to become an executive at Warner Chappell. And everybody thinks, Looney Tunes is just this crazy song. It was written by Al Jolson, and it's a copyrighted song called Merrily We Roll Along. And what's going on?
There's a spider.
The spider we've all been tracking for the last 5 minutes.
Well, I'm telling my story. You're watching this. I'm thinking
trying to
there's
be
a
polite.
naked girl out there.
was getting scared.
So
Thank you, Tony.
You don't kill spiders?
I was going to let him outside, but I
Okay.
didn't want to interrupt
She's
Jackie's
Buddhist.
story.
yeah, you're fucking my story.
No, got it.
So the song is called Merrily We Roll Along, and I get a cease and desist
Wow.
from this guy from Warner Chappell. We hear you have been using a song that's one of our copyrights. We need an accounting for all the money, blah, blah, blah. We expect a check. And I'm like,
Check out $10. There you go.
who's going to believe that we sold? Me and Nancy had to go to the expense of going back into the studio and recutting the CD
well.
with
Hello,
the Merrily
guys.
We Roll Along taken out of the song, and just freaked out of my mind. And then a year later, I become friends with a guy named Lee Newman, whose grandfather was one of the great songwriters of all time, who's absolutely connected with Warner Chappell, and it was his copyright. So if it had been a year later, he could. And meanwhile, this guy who made me do that is Lee's cousin that nobody in the family likes. I mean, it's just amazing how small the world is. So it's just insane. So meanwhile, the pot song and Don't Make Concern with great songs from back then. And I forget what we're talking about.
Hello, Dennis. You're on the air. How you doing, buddy?
How you doing, guys? How you been?
What's going on?
Hey,
Nothing much, guys. How you been today, guys?
What
Good,
are
how
you up to, Dennis?
What's up?
Nothing much. How you guys doing today?
Good. How are you doing?
how you doing today?
How you doing today?
Hanging in Tampa. I'm at the mall right now, Smith Haven Mall, chilling.
Are you buying underwear?
By the way, how are you?
Hey, we just had a spider.
Say hello to Jackie, Andy, and Robin, our guests today.
Hello, guys.
Hello, beautiful.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, guys. How you been?
All right.
Dennis, big plans this weekend or what?
No plans this weekend, guys. Sorry.
You know, I was so worried there was no one listening.
Dennis, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks, Charlie.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, guys. I'm doing real good.
Jackie, how you doing?
This is some really good bonding.
I know.
I'm feeling the love.
Thank you, guys.
You know, there was a time we were on the radio and we got this guy on the
Doing good.
phone,
Tony,
and he was doing good.
you doing good?
Hey, Andy, how you doing?
Robin, how you doing?
I'm feeling really good.
Dennis, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How you guys doing?
Hey, Dennis, do me a favor. I don't know what department you're in, but would you buy me some rope?
No, I don't think so, guys. Sorry about that.
Good.
That's not nice.
What was that, Dennis?
I said, that's not nice.
That's
not nice. Why? What's the matter?
No, I don't buy no vote for you.
Oh. Why wouldn't you buy him rope?
Because I know what you can do with it. Maybe hang yourself or attach to a car, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, good
Attach it
thinking,
to a
Dennis.
car.
God, I didn't even think of that.
So what are you doing in the mall? Anything good?
You know, I got my lunch and shit chilling. Got my frosty. Think about you guys right now. Got my 2 crispy chickens. About to try that down.
All right, cool. All right, so yeah, enjoy your lunch. Listen to Jackie; he's very funny, and we'll touch base with you on Monday.
You got a joke?
Yeah.
You got a joke?
I got a joke for you. I was thinking, one minute. I was thinking.
Go ahead. Oh, you got a joke? Go ahead. We'd love to hear it, Dennis.
Yes, I got a joke for you guys. Want to hear it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Please.
You got a joke?
But first, how you doing?
Yeah. I'm doing good. Okay, I got a joke for you guys. Ready?
Go ahead.
Okay. What has 18 legs and catches flies?
Wait, what? What?
What has
Say it
18
slower.
legs?
18
What
legs
has
and
18
catches
legs
flies.
and catches flies?
What?
A garbage can that has legs instead of wheels, and it's not a can, it's a truck.
Yeah, come here. Nope.
The Yankees and the Mets.
Nope.
That's a good one. What?
You gotta give up?
Yes.
You gotta give up?
A baseball team.
A baseball team.
Yes.
What the fuck do you think the Yankees and the Mets are, Dennis?
Hey, Dennis, I got a joke for you.
What is it?
What's got 6 balls and rapes Mexicans?
Oh, lottery.
The lottery.
The lottery.
What use the word,
I got
Ray?
one.
No wonder nobody's listening to us.
All right,
I got
Dennis.
another joke for you
All right,
guys.
Dennis.
Wait a minute. I got another joke for you guys.
Go ahead, quick.
Okay, good.
Go ahead,
Sheep
quick.
had chocolate top. The sheep had chocolate top. What do you call it?
What? Would you please talk faster?
So,
I
yeah,
said the sheep had chocolate top. What do you call it?
A Chipa Chupa Chop? What do you call it?
No. No.
Say it a little slower,
Say it
Dennis.
slower.
I said the sheep has chocolate on top. What do you call it?
The sheep has chalk on top?
Chocolate. Yes.
Or chocolate?
No, chocolate on top. What do you call it?
The sheep has chocolate on top. What do you call it?
Yeah, what do you call it?
I'm just.
You guys give up?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
A chocolate bar.
A chocolate bar.
Oh, chocolate
chocolate
bar. I get it.
Now one more. I
But
got one more for
wait,
you guys.
you said bar. The point is to say
I got
bar.
I got one more joke for you guys too.
Okay,
Go ahead,
good.
I got one more guy too for you.
This will
What
be.
did the bird say when it broke his cage?
What?
Sheep.
Oh, yeah. All right, Dennis, you have a great day at the mall.
Oh,
Thank
did you watch? I got a question for you guys. Wait before you. Did you watch the show last week?
Yes, we did.
No, I'm not talking about you guys. I'm not talking about Tony and Eric, all
Oh.
those guys. I'm talking about the guests.
The guest. Did you watch the show last week?
Yes.
What show? The hell's he talking about?
You know what? I hate to break this up, but I hear my mother calling me.
Oh, his mom's calling.
no.
Just calling in. We gotta go.
That's crazy. No, I love you guys.
All right,
Have
Dennis.
a great weekend, Dennis.
Have a good weekend, buddy.
You too, guys. You
There's
too,
a sale
buddy.
at Lids.
All right, how you doing?
Hi, guys.
All right. All right, there we go. Dennis, everybody.
What day is it?
Friday. It's almost over, Jackie.
Holy.
Oh,
That was a
man.
good idea, quitting that show.
Go ahead, do the ads. Let's do the ads.
All right, we're going to do the ads real quick. The Knockem 10 Comedy Radio Show. And after we get back from the ads, I want to hear a funny story from Andy Flegel. So, Dave.
Jokeland
Oh,
at
he's in there.
AOL.com. If you send me
Yeah.
a funny question for Andy, I will email Andy, and then we'll come back on the air and let Andy answer it, and then we'll interrupt him, and you will never hear the answer. Jokeland at AOL.com. There is a 4-foot midget lady with beautiful hooters that will answer your email as long as I hold her up to the computer.
The Knockem 10 Comedy Radio Show is brought to you by Bella Vista Pizza. Bella Vista Pizza for the best pizza in the whole wide world. Check out Bella Vista Pizza, located at 154 Manette
Eric.
Road in Plainview. Yes.
It was easier to understand
And Dennis.
Dennis.
I'm trying to do it fast so I can get back to you guys. Bella Vista Pizza, located at 154 Minetta Hill Road in Plainview, 516-433-4464. That's 516-433-4464, BellaVistaPizza.com, baby. Check them out today. And also Gina Congemi Coffin, licensed real estate agent with Signature Premier Properties. That's Gina Congemi Coffin, licensed real estate agent with Signature Premier Properties. 631-495-7696. That's 631-495-7696. List your house with Gina. She'll work so hard for you and sell your house so fast it'll make your
Head spin.
Head spin. And also Knockem Dead KnockemDeadComedy.com. For the funniest murder mysteries in the world, check out Knockem Dead Comedy. You want to laugh, dance, and sing? Be part of the action. You just want some crusty old pee pants to walk into the room in the middle of your dinner and say there's been a murder in the parking lot, and now we got to figure it out. You got to go see the other guys. But if you want to laugh, dance, sing, be part of the action, and see the murder happen right in front of you, then check out Knockem Dead Comedy. KnockemDeadComedy.com/show dates for all our upcoming dates and information of which Anthony will give you some details now.
Don't forget January 30th. That's a Thursday night over there at 317 Main in Farmingdale. That's where you can catch us doing our next Murder Mystery
Get
show.
a Monster Burger!
Get a Monster
Monster
Burger. That's
Burger.
right. I saw a picture of it after you told us that story. It looks good.
Before somebody ate it or after?
You're so weird. And come join us doing our mob-themed murder mystery at 317 Main in Farmingdale. Go to knockemdeadcomedy.com to see our full schedule, information on who we are, what we do, photos, videos, testimonials, and, of course, booking information. And speaking of great comedy shows, as I play this clip, which I believe Jackie Lynn did.
Now we're using his likeness.
What do you got?
It's a governor.
Knock 'em up comedy. Bring your daughters.
So are you done talking already?
No, I'm not done.
What's he doing?
Head on over to. I was
Are
playing.
you
the
playing
clip.
a visual ad on the radio?
We're live streaming. It's live video streaming.
It's both.
What are the people
I'm
that are
finding
just
it.
listening?
Sorry.
The people watching the live stream.
You do
far
understand
outweighs
Dennis
the
is
people
going to call up
listening.
and say, I couldn't hear that.
No, he's watching on his phone.
couldn't
He's
hear
watching
that.
on his phone. People, you see, people can.
He can see you.
You see these? These are phones. People can. You see the screen? People can.
You do know who you're fucking with, right?
Head on over to one of the three
got 10
great
things in his head right now.
You're like Wild
He's
Bill
like,
Cook Hickok.
Game on, mother bitches.
He's like, he was going to your graduation door to support you. Now he's going to heckle
No,
you.
he's still coming. He's going to throw tomatoes. I'll be like alfalfa. I'm the barber of Seville. Getting hit with the tomatoes.
I just can't wait till you tell a joke and all of a sudden I hear it from the audience. What the hell was
Oh,
that?
that's the story I was going to tell you.
You're gonna hear this as I'm telling my jokes.
Do you remember Larry Melrose Green?
Yes.
He was so inappropriate, but he was great for the show, and he was smart. But once in a while, he'd come to an event or a comedy event of mine, and he would just laugh so loud, so inappropriately, so horribly. But he was funny, and usually it didn't really matter. And I was headlining at the top of the Riv, 1,000 people, sold out, both nights, highlight of my career. And in those days, there was no flights direct to Vegas after noon. So this is my day.
Right.
Get up, 4:30, get ready, drive into the Stern Show, leave after the Stern Show, get to the airport, fly America West to Phoenix, where I have to transfer. There's delays. I'm just, by the grace of God, get a flight to Vegas. I get a flight to Vegas. I just get to my room. My show is at 10 o'clock, which is 1 o'clock. I've been
Right.
up, this is 3 hours.
Oh, right.
So it's
yeah.
1 o'clock my time, and I got to do a show for 1,000 people, sold out, and I am dying,
Exhausted.
waiting in the airport, transferring flights, all this craziness. And so I've been going the 24 hours, and then afterwards I know I have I'm fully responsible for a full-scale party in my huge suite afterwards. And I remember I'm standing there looking at the mirror in my huge suite, and I'm going to leave in 15 minutes for this show.
Yeah.
And my face, I'm like, oh my God, how great it is to have that many people and getting paid a lot of money.
Yeah, but still.
But holy Christ, what a situation. This
Just close the door
could
behind
not be harder. This could not be worse. And the phone rings. And Steve Sharippa says to me, Jackie, there's this guy here named Melrose Larry Green.
Oh, gosh.
Should I let him into the show? Now, if I don't let him into the show,
He calls Howard.
he calls Howard. If he comes into the show, here I am exhausted trying to kill these 1,000 people, and if there's a lull, And I said to Sharippa, I said, let him in, but please sit on his head. And there wasn't a peep from him. You know, Sharippa must have
told him to
must have acted
shut
like
up.
a soprano.
read him
you
the
know.
right eye.
Yeah.
But just what could be worse?
Right.
Ring. Melrose Larry Green is here. Just spectacular. So it seemed like a good idea. You know, until the spider and she showed up and everything, the whole fucking story went up. No, not
That's
your
Gina.
fault. Not your
Hi to
fault.
Gina.
Gina
She's
Jackson.
our salesman?
Gina.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sell something.
Makes your head spin.
That's right.
You're not giving her anything to sell. You're not on air all the time.
When are you going to come and do a show? Make it easy.
We're gonna do the Jackie Martling show with the spinning wheel, which
Oh, I
would be
like it.
perfect for radio.
It's live streaming.
Video too.
They can watch. More people are watching that than listen.
I'm probably gonna have to get rid of the anal sex category, but probably
No,
not.
you
I
don't.
probably have to get rid of.
No,
If you have Italian and Jew and Polish and it's all equal. That's fine.
it
I
all
think-
works. You're allowed to say that.
Any
stuff on
Russian?
here.
Any Russian on
I
that?
know. I have black. I guess I have to make that African American.
I can help you
But
with that.
none of you shouldn't tell any of the jokes. But fuck everybody, because if there's the world is ready for this show.
Yeah.
Because humor is going out the window because somebody lost track of if nobody gets hurt, there is no joke. It's called a fucking punchline.
Right.
If nobody gets hurt, there's no humor. If a caveman's standing there, it's not funny. If a rock falls on his head, it's a fucking riot. And it's just, that is human nature. I am sorry. That's
So you
just-
don't agree with this whole cancel culture?
Oh, fuck me.
That Vince Vaughn shook the president's hand, and now people are mad at him.
What?
They want to cancel Vince Vaughn. That's what they said. There's a
Oh, because he shook hands with Trump?
yes, because you shook hand. Bye, Gina.
Bye, Gina.
What was that? Would you walk in and fart and leave?
I did. No, I have to go get my mother. I brought.
That was the
I'm
other
donating-
day.
Tell her I said hello.
I'm donating a child's guitar to Robin to give to somebody,
To a child.
to a child,
Oh.
or if Jackie wants it,
Or a midget.
or a midget.
Give me that guitar.
Hey,
touched the guitar
hey,
and
maybe
I
the
cut
midget
myself.
that answers all your emails.
It's very, very dusty.
Oh, wow.
There's
This-
no
this-
strings on it, Gina.
It's not broken.
No wonder you can't sell anything. Go
It
home.
looks like it's missing an A. You should feel great.
What do you say?
I wasn't going to restring
Wait,
it.
is it actually the A string that's gone on this?
No,
that
that's
would've
not.
been
That's
good.
the
That
only one
would've
that's
been
there.
You know how to restring, don't you?
I see
Yeah.
more strings on
Yeah,
the
no, we'll
stripper.
take care of it. I'll find a home, or we'll do it as part of a charity benefit or
This was
something
a-
like that.
this was a
Gina.
hope that
Yeah.
my son
Take my
was
card
going
and let's
to-
be in touch and let's sell
That
some
didn't
some
happen.
ads for these guys.
Absolutely. Look, I touched it and I cut myself. I'm not a musician.
Oh my
the-
God! What is the matter
Doesn't
with
mean
you?
you're not a musician.
You cut yourself on my card?
Yes,
No,
I do.
on the
No,
guitar.
Well, you are very sharp.
You know,
I am
me.
very
Whenever I do, I
sure.
get-
Wow.
God,
Yeah, I got my mom's getting her hair done.
fix
so-
her up with Dennis.
Thank you
Have
so
fun.
much for dropping that off. I'll find a good home.
I was like so excited because finally
I just
got
crashed.
here. And I got to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you.
Nice
Nice.
to meet
Yep.
you.
Nice to
We'll be in
meet you.
touch.
We got Jackie the Joke Man
Awesome.
Martling and Andy Flegel.
Hi.
Bye,
Flegel!
Flegel
Flegel's
from the
here.
Try Not to
Flegel.
Laugh podcast.
Yes.
Right, Andy?
Flegel.
Yeah.
What's
Co-host,
happened, Andy?
producer.
Co-host and producer. That's
There
right.
you go.
Hey, I just got a cameo.
Oh,
If you guys wanted, this is so much fun. You get a 30-second, 40-second, 50-second Jackie video of me telling a joke, saying happy birthday, congratulations on your divorce, whatever. It's cameo.com/Jackie Martling. I just got this one. I have no idea what it says.
Let's see
have
what
a
it
look.
says.
While he's looking, don't forget all the great comedy shows at Governor's this
There you
weekend.
go.
John Ziegler.
Wish Mike
tonight-
McGrath a happy birthday from his
Mike.
wife, Kelly. Tell him to give Rodney a chance joke. It's his favorite. Well, I can't. It's too long. But I'll tell him how to get it.
What do you charge for one of those?
Huh? And that's $50.
Nice.
$50.
And I get like
Reasonable.
1, 2, 3 a day. But some days none. Sometimes I get 2.
What
They're
is the
so
time limit?
it's just so silly. Yesterday, the request I got. I think I did a commercial. I don't even. What is a phone center?
Oh, like a call-in center.
I would-
Like
yeah,
a call
I
center.
I did. It's the 12th anniversary for Costa Rica's call center. Now I don't know if this is in Spanish Harlem or whether it's in Costa Rica.
Right.
And they said, please mention
in
our
Pakistan.
neon lights and our jukebox and our 1950. I'm thinking, this is probably the Hang in Costa Rica. And it was like a 50-second commercial. It was my pleasure to do it.
Yeah.
And they were fucking thrilled.
Yeah, that's
it's
great.
so goofy.
Yeah.
Hey, tell Ernie he's fat, or tell Cheryl Merry Christmas. It'll be funny because she's a Jew, And you know me, I'll do whatever. If they say stand on your head and spit wooden nickels, I say, sure, send me a check.
If I were a doctor, I'd hire you to call people and give them bad news.
That's a great. That's
Wow,
exactly.
that's a really good idea.
That's a good idea.
Oh, that is a good idea.
Do you know that joke? The nurse comes in and says, "Doc, the guy you just examined died on his way out." And the doctor says, "Well, turn him around so it looks like he died on the way in."
That's funny.
I like the one where the guy goes to the doctor. He's at the dentist. And dentist,
Make up your mind, Pringle.
he's at the cardiologist.
Thank you very
The
much.
cardiologist goes to him. He's like, I don't know how to tell you, so you got to stop masturbating. He says, why? He goes, I'm trying to examine you.
See, I would have laughed at that, but I tell that joke every night in my
He wrote that joke.
I didn't write that joke, but for these purposes, I did.
But do you know the one with the
That
kid?
is that absolutely is a fantastic joke. I'm not kidding.
Oh, my
The kid that lives on a farm, and he wakes up on a Monday morning. He's pissed off. He doesn't want to go to school, so he leaves the house. Right,
Yeah.
he's walking. And they live on a farm, but he's walking out the door. He starts heading down, and he's so mad, so he kicks the pig on his way to the pig's pass.
Is there any mail for me?
That the
Go ahead.
punchline?
No.
Go ahead.
Okay.
No.
No, I was just seeing if there's any mail because I was getting bored.
Oh. That's what I get for killing a spider. So the mother yells out to him, "I saw what you did. Just because of that, you kicked the pig. No bacon for you tomorrow at breakfast time." The kid's all pissed off. He goes to school that day. He had a bad day in school. You know this one?
He's telling him that.
Yeah, he's telling him the punchline.
No, I never heard this one.
Comes back after the bad day at school, right?
Yeah.
He's all in a pissed off mood, and he oh shit. Do you know this one seriously? Because I already forgot now what he kicks next. He comes
The butterfly.
You threw him that fast.
Butterfly?
He kills the butterfly.
The lightning bug.
No, that's not the one I
And
know.
his mother said you can't have any butter for a year.
Okay, all right, we'll go with that. Okay, and then
It's almost like that works just as well.
sure,
That's why I
but
suggested
that's not the version I heard. But then the father comes home.
Doesn't fucking matter.
Is this the one where the father comes home after a bad day at work?
Sure.
All right, so the son comes home, he kicks the butterfly. The mother says, "Fine, no butter for you for a month." Then the father comes home, he had a bad day at work. He's walking up, the cat passes his path, so he kicks the cat, and the son turns to the mother. "You going to tell him, or am I?" Yeah.
Is that what?
Was that the one?
I got that.
We thought you were going to say cockroach.
All right. All right, same premise.
His father kills the cockroach. No, I never heard that.
That's what I said, same premise.
I never heard that.
But
Did I tell you the three-legged pig?
See, now you're just picking on me because he's missing a
No.
leg.
So
That's my job.
a guy's interviewing a farmer for Better Homes and Gardens, and he says, "This is a beautiful farm. Look, this is spectacular." Well, it's been in the family for centuries. We're very proud of this farm. We've always been very proud people, and we take good care of them. He said, "Well, the grounds are exquisite. Like the fence is an old, split rail fence in perfect. Well, hell, we're proud people. It's a nice farm, and I can't look. The horses are so well groomed, and I mean, it's spectacular." He says, "Well, I'm telling you, we're very proud of this farm. And then your livestock, it looks so robust and healthy." Well, yeah, I'm telling you, this is a good farm. It's been in the family a long time. He says, but I can't help but notice that one of your pigs has a wooden leg. He says, "Well, yeah. A three-legged pig? You got a three?" He says, "Well, you want me to tell you about this pig?" I'll tell you about this pig. That pig, the barn caught fire and none of us seen it. And that pig right there squealed and ran around in circles and squealed till he got our attention. We looked, son of a gun, the barn was on fire, and we put out that pig right there saved that barn. You want to hear more about this pig? Yeah. That pig right there, one of the horses stumbled and fell in the creek, and he was nose down, and he would have drowned because his hoofs were caught in a rock, and that pig right there went over there, and with his snout, he moved that rock, and the horse got free. He saved that horse's life. I'm telling you, my friend, this is not the kind of pig you eat all at once. You started it. You said three-legged pig.
I did. Well, you must know I mean, this is such an old joke, but I'm going to do it anyway. With the woman with the one leg who can't get a date.
Yep.
Yeah, I shouldn't even bother. I shouldn't even bother. All right, forget it.
Would I?
Tell me if you
Yes.
know this one, Jackie.
Yes.
If you don't, you're free to use it.
Yes.
There's a man in Atlantic City. He's walking down the beach.
Yep. You're fucked now.
Suddenly, he hears a booming voice come from the sky. Dig! Okay. He's looking around. There's no
This
one
is
there.
5,000 different jokes, but go ahead.
All right. 5001.
I love it.
I like my version.
I love it anyway.
Dig! Big booming voice tells him. Starts digging in the sand. Finds a treasure chest. Opens it up. It's filled with gold coins. Big booming voice. Casino! Okay. Looks up. There's Bally's right there. Brings it into the casino. Walks in. Here's the voice again. Roulette! Brings it over to the roulette table. Plops it down.
Kill me.
Voice goes, 16 black. Okay. Puts it down. 16 black. Dealer puts the ball on, starts spinning. Lands on 14 red. Voice goes, shit!
I'm wondering if I have mail.
All right, guy goes to a whorehouse.
Oh boy.
Guy goes to a whorehouse. He walks in, asks the hooker how much for a blowjob. She goes, oh, excuse me, I fucked up already. How much for a hand job? How much for a hand job? The hooker says, $500. Guy says, $500 for a hand job? Hooker points out a window. She goes, you see that mansion over there? He goes, yes. You know this?
No.
Anybody know this?
No, I've never heard.
All right, see that mansion over there?
I don't want people listening to the show to think that I'm going to sit through their fucking jokes. I'm being polite to you. My life is I'm not polite to anyone. Like if a woman, a beautiful woman comes up to me in a bar, the definition of a gentleman is someone who's never heard the story before.
Right.
I stop people. I say, I'm sorry. I let somebody tell me a joke. They spend the rest of their life saying, I told that guy a joke he never heard. No, you didn't. So I stopped them. But go ahead, because it's rude to the people to deprive them of your. It's actually a great joke.
You want to take it over?
No.
The hooker points out the window and says, "You see that mansion?" The guy says, "Yes." The hooker says, "Well, I bought that mansion purely from my hand jobs."
Okay.
He's like, "All right, fine. I'll give it a shot." It's the most amazing hand job he's ever had in his life. Couldn't believe it.
It's a good
Worth
one.
every penny.
Right.
Goes back a week later. Says that was just amazing. I need more of you. What about a blowjob? How much for a blowjob? $2,000. $2,000 for a blowjob? What? Hooker points out another one and says, "See that Ferrari down there?" He says, "Yeah. Got that Ferrari solely for my blowjobs." He's like, "All right. Well, you didn't steer me wrong with the hand jobs. I'll take the chance." Pays $2,000.
Right.
Bam. Most outrageous hand job he's ever had, blowjob he's ever had in his life. He's in love. Comes back a week later. He says, "This was unbelievable. The hand job was crazy. The blowjob was crazy. I'm just crazy about you. I have to have it all." He says, "How much to fuck you?" She goes, "You see that bank over there?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "If I had a cop, I
swear to you, I knew he was going to do that. I knew he was going to tell a 20-minute joke and blow the punchline.
I totally blew it.
Remember when you said, I'm going to take
jokes
acting lessons, comedy lessons.
Yes.
There's certain rules.
Yes.
Okay. The punchline to his joke, if I had a pussy, I'd own the whole city.
That's it. I said cock.
When you're doing comedy, you repeat the ones that work. There's certain rules for telling jokes. When you're telling a joke, you can fuck it up. You can make it way too long. You can go around in circles. You can stumble. You can do anything wrong.
Yeah.
But the one thing you must do
Know the
is
joke.
tell the punchline flawlessly.
Yes.
If you tell a joke perfectly and it's the world's best joke and you stumble on the punchline, it sucks. Mm-hmm. Before you tell a joke,
Trust me, I
go
feel
over
it
the
right
punchline
now.
a few times in your head so you just don't
Mull it over a bit.
I haven't told that in 20 years, and I
That
totally messed it up.
doesn't matter!
I'm just explaining why I messed it up. Damn it!
Tony, you're a really funny guy.
It is funny because, like, I hung out with Jackie the other day, and it's like he can't walk through a lobby without everyone walking up to him, and be like, "Hey, I have a joke." Like, they're the first one who ever approached him. Like, and he's got this great smile on his face. I'm like, I'd be punching them in the
I'm going to
throat.
completely disagree with this.
I know you do, but after the 18th 952nd person,
But that's how much he's known. That's how much people love him. They
know.
have business
And
with him.
I can remember the people that got him through the cracks. I was Mark Hudson from the Hudson Brothers.
Yep.
Is a great character. He has the greatest stories in the world. And
Great record producer.
yeah,
You got to get him. Oh, I would love to get him in here.
Incredible guy. And Hudson, they had their summer replacement show was very popular in the 70s.
I remember.
And he wrote one of the biggest Aerosmiths, not Walk This Way.
No, later in the 90s. He produced a few of their albums in the 90s.
But he wrote one of the. Yeah,
One of their main
I don't know.
songs?
I don't know rock and roll.
Janie's got a gun.
Whatever, you know.
wanna
My
s-
last album I bought was Chicago 2, so I don't know.
What are you into, gangster rap?
So, but Hudson is great, and he does shows at the Iridium in Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
And he has different guests, and when I show up, he's always, like Les Paul, come up and tell a couple jokes. So I went up to tell a joke, and the place is jammed. And I think I went on last or close to last and told a couple jokes. And then we went in the dressing room, and, how you doing? And I think Billy J. Kramer, a couple different people. And we're hanging out. But when we came out, the audience is still packed in. And we're walking, going through the crowd. And this guy comes up to me in the crowd and, like, right up to my nose and says, "Listen, Jackie, I know you heard all the fucking jokes, and I've been a fan for 40 years, but I just want to run one by you." And I said, "You know what? I always listen. Forever."
You do.
And I really
You
do
really
listen
do.
because you never know when you're going to hear one that slipped through the cracks because there's a lot of jokes, man. And over the years, I could tell you the new ones I've heard in the last 20 years. I can name them. There's like 20 of them, but they're great ones, And this guy tells me a joke, and I fell down. And he said, "Look, see, you don't have to kiss my ass. I'm telling you that joke is so funny, and it is in such a weird category. The joke is too dirty for my act, but you can tell it on the radio, and you can tell it to a 5-year-old." And he said, "You're crazy." I said, "I am telling you that's the story. A lady calls the doctor and she says, 'Doc, I have diarrhea. Can I take a bath?' And he says, 'If you have enough.'" And, kids going nuts. You can tell it on the radio, but I don't do it in my act because everybody's like, "Oh!" You can't stop thinking about it,
that is funny. Yeah.
I think it's so funny
it
that it
this
was worth
face?
blowing my friendship with Robin.
He co-wrote "Living on the Edge" with them.
Living on
That
the
sounds
edge.
right. That sounds
Living
right.
on
That
the
sounds
edge.
right.
I like the what do you call a Nazi midget? Come on, we wrote it here.
Half
together.
off Hitler.
No, I like the not so Heil Hitler.
Not so Heil Hitler.
That's my favorite.
That movie Jojo Rabbit is spectacular. It is the oddest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, what's that guy's name that did it?
I have no idea.
Takami
Tim. I forget his name, but it's Todd. Todd. I don't know. But it's so odd and so great, and my girlfriend's like, because we got the DVD, and I said, "You really got to watch it." She says, "Is it violent?" I said, "No." "Well, it's about the Holocaust." It's like, but
It's a feel-good film.
and it is. That's what it's the oddest. Oh God!
It's educational.
I just once in a while a film is from outer space, which is just so nice, man.
Did you see it, Andy?
No.
Oh, you didn't see it?
It's great. It's great. Who knows? All right, listen. Cameo.com/Jackie Marling. I need money to go to dinner tonight, so please. I'll tell a joke. I'll do an ad.
How fast do you
say
get paid from Cameo?
The second it uploads,
Really?
right into my
That's
straight
nice.
in my bank account. Boom. I get $37.50.
And it's $50 for how long? Like, is there a limit, or do they have to pay
No, they
another
just
50
say
or something?
it's my friend's birthday. We tell this joke, tell that joke. I'll say, "Look, Rodney's too long. Email me jokeland@aol.com, and I'll email you the joke." And I do. That used to be the joke that played when you went to where one of the pages on my website, But it's so racist. It's so horrible. But it's so fucking funny. But it's too long. I don't care.
It's so racist. It's so horrible, but it's so funny.
It's so funny.
What stood out to me when I'm seeing your stuff online is how you really make an effort to interact with people. Like, if 9,000 people will stop you and want to talk to you, that you enjoy that and that you're open to that. And one of the things I did yesterday was I called 516-922-WINE for the first time. And you've had that phone line in since what, 79?
I got the idea. We had no money. And we were putting on a show at Cinnamon in Huntington, me and Minervini, because Dixon wouldn't pay us. Richard M. Dixon's White House Inn wouldn't pay us. And we're like, how the hell are we going to get people to a show? We had no way to advertise. We got no money. I said, well, I'll get a phone line and put on a joke and then tell where we're going to be and then tell another joke, just like a radio show, TV show. And it was busy constantly. I mean, that's a whole book. That whole thing. It went from 1 line to 2 to 3. No, 1 to 2 to 4 to 6 to 10. And each time I increased it, the foreman would come to my house because they had to see it. And it was the attic of my mother's house. It was spectacular.
It was the coolest idea, really, in terms of advertising and it engaging. So I was listening to it yesterday, and it was like, here's a joke. By the way, I'm playing in White Plains on blah, blah, blah. Here's a joke. Right. I'm going to be in
now you got to update it because Virginia coming up.
It was
I usually put on one show. Sometimes I put on 2 and say, I don't give as much information. I say, go to jokeland.com. But I'm at White Plains Comedy Club in White Plains on February 8th, and it's
is that the one
it's Chrissy Mayer's boyfriend runs it. Do you know Chrissy Mayer? She's a female comic.
No.
She's very funny. She has a podcast on Anthony Cumia's compound called Wet Spot.
Oh, I've heard of that. I don't know her name.
She's just I've known her a long time. She's very delightful. Last time I did a show, I'm sitting there and there's I don't know whether it's a hooker or a prostitute or a porn chick sitting there, and she was nice, but it's hard to address somebody not because she's naked. She's dumb as a post. Like, are you uncomfortable? Yeah, but not because you're boozed, because you can't carry a sentence.
She offered you meth.
No, I would have understood that. No, I'm only kidding. Actually, the girl was delightful and she was dressed. I just like to exaggerate, but Chrissy Mayer is a great chick, and she's at. Oh God, that's too hard. I can't. See, now you're fucking up my.
Yeah, Robin.
What did you do? Chrissy Mayer is at the AVN Awards. Okay. And the song, I'm smoking pot, I got my dick out. This is this song.
I'm thinking about you.
Yeah, so the song.
I'm ruined. I'm telling you,
everybody,
it's all your fault.
Everyone loves the song. So my friend Eric is editing a porn film that was directed by a woman who was married for 30 years to the guy who was the photo editor for Hustler for 30 years.
Nice.
And then he died. And her dream was always to direct a porn film. And Eric says, all right, I'll help you. So he helps her produce it because he's known her forever. He's a great guy. And so I'm out in California, and I'm at his apartment. He said, listen, I'm just doing the credits to Erica McLean's movie. Do you want me to just throw your song behind the credits? I'm like, oh, that's a hoot, right?
Yeah.
And then I get a call that my song is nominated for AVN.
Oh, I like that.
Best song.
That's awesome.
But meanwhile, there's 15 songs nominated, and in the AVN Awards, best song is like, best grip at the Oscars. We gave those awards out last Sunday afternoon.
That's funny.
So me and my friend Toby go all the way out to the AVN Awards, and of course she didn't win.
That's fun.
But meanwhile, it turns out that it was picked by Stephen Javers, who's Russell Javers' cousin from the original Billy Joel band.
Yeah.
Right.
And I said, Stephen, what's the odds? It's so great that you picked my song. He goes, I had no idea that was your fucking song. I just really thought the song was great. But we're at the AVN Awards, and it's a hoot. And me and Toby start talking to this girl who's very cute and very friendly. and we're shooting the shit, and we take a picture, and nobody did anything, just took a picture, and I thought she was cute. And I get home, and my my radio partner, I show him a picture, and he goes, "Jesus Christ, how'd you get?" I guess she's like the world's greatest squirter. Like I'm like, how do you know that? This is a pretty girl hanging out in the bar, and we're talking to her. She's internationally famous for being a squirter.
Wow.
And my radio partner recognized it. Don't tell anybody that.
A friend of mine just sent me that.
That's not her.
Is Russell's brother in porn? Like, what was his brother?
No. He was just a producer.
Oh.
He was a producer of the actual
cool.
of the awards show.
Oh, okay.
That's a crazy. I'm telling you, the Stern fans. I don't know about now, but they were rabid, unbelievable fans, loyal and crazy.
Sure, yeah.
The porn fans leave them in the dust. We went to the AVN Awards. It changed over. It used to be at the same time as the CES show, and then it became its own show. It's a whole thing. But of course, people that are porn fans, a lot of them crossed over and were huge Stern fans too. So they all, for the most part, knew me.
Yeah.
And the award show is at the Venetian, and we go to the show, and I might have been with Ron Jeremy and people that, so we stood out. But the red carpet went around the Venetian, and I mean it was a long. It went all the way around, and the fans are like 5 or 6 deep, the whole length of the red carpet, and it was so flattering because they all know me.
Yeah.
I'm like I'm not here because of my penis. I'm here because of my sense of humor. But that wasn't what was so impressive. Is we went into the show, which is horrible. It was like 3 or 4 hours, and it was like watching paint dry. I'm here to get the award for best triple anal, and I'd like to thank my parents and Jesus Christ. I'm like, Jesus, oh my fucking Lord.
That's
shoot me.
so funny.
But after the show, you walk out, they're all still there, 5 or 6 deep. They never left.
Wow, they just want to meet everyone.
They're just so, and they see somebody coming. Oh, there's him, Charlie Schmidt from Angela Had a Heart On.
But they make a whole weekend out of it, right?
Yeah,
and they can all meet these people.
And it's like it's a convention. So you go to the different booths and everything, and it really is interesting. And they're nice people, and a lot of them are just businessmen.
Oh, absolutely, sure.
I mean, even some of the girls are heroin addicts, and they're out of their mind. But same thing with the
you get that
a radio,
right? Right.
But it was really fun, I don't know what we're talking about.
I don't know either.
I'm trying to find out the pot song's on iTunes right here.
Oh.
What album was it on?
Just do pot song,
Yeah, you think it's on there? I can't find it. I see a whole bunch of stuff under you, but not the pot song. I see. I see Butch's song.
The pot song was not on.
I don't know.
Happy Endings.
Cool.
The pot song is on there somewhere.
Yeah, probably wouldn't be.
No, it says no results.
What?
I got to put it up somewhere because
Yeah.
it's so fun.
I see Butch's song. What's that?
That's a song that I updated in 1980.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of songs for you on iTunes, just not the pot song. There's jokes too on.
Yeah, I don't even know what's on there.
A famous
Help
comedian
is
like
on
you,
there.
somebody as famous as you are for your jokes. What is your favorite comedy movie?
Oh, good question.
There ain't one. That's like moving target.
Yeah, it's hard to
It's like, what's your favorite food? Chicken. Oh no, I had that last night. My
Right.
favorite food's steak now. But I like a lot of them. It probably my favorite year, because that was the story. That was us. That was the Channel 9 show.
Okay.
And it was
that's with
I'm not familiar with
Peter
that one.
O'Toole.
Peter O'Toole.
And who's the kid in it?
Yeah, you very rarely see him. Mark somebody.
Yeah.
But it was a guy who was an intern, a writer's intern
Wasn't
on
the
a
guy-
show just like your Show of Shows or the Ed Sullivan Show, and
Yeah.
Peter O'Toole is the guest.
It wasn't the guy-
He's a faded movie star and an alcoholic, and it's just spectacular.
It wasn't the guy from Perfect
Yes.
Strangers, was
yes,
it?
Mark Lynn-Baker.
Mark
yes.
Lynn-Baker, that's
got
it.
it.
Yeah, that's who it was. Yep.
Nice face for radio.
Yeah, I remember seeing that in the theaters with my father, and I'm like, what is this? What is that? I'm like, I think I was like 12 or 11 or 12. And I'm
That's
going,
of course in Larry Appleton.
Yeah, what the hell? Yes. Yeah, but that was it. Mark Lynn-Baker. He plays the kid, and then Peter O'Toole comes and visits the set, and he's drunk,
great.
and he's,
Oh,
it's a
just
good
great.
movie.
It's
It's
just
a good
great.
movie.
There's so many greats. I mean, I'm a big Marx Brothers fan. And then you sit to watch a Marx Brothers movie, and I told me and Gilbert were laughing. I said, you want to shoot yourself. It's unwatchable. You can hardly hear what they're saying, but you love it. It's horrible, and you love it.
Oh, but they were so talented, those three.
Yeah, but it's just it's all wacky. I read so much about those guys. It's just what's crazy is anybody who's a comic or a musician or a traveling performer. Those guys were on the road for 15 years before they made a movie. 15 years of vaudeville from 1915 to 1930. Do you know what it was like going from town to town? Those were the years when, like, on the hotels it said, no show people. You know what I mean? No hookers, no show people. That's why Chico became such a great piano player.
No
because
Italians.
he played in they stayed in whorehouses.
No Italians. Right?
I might have said, I don't know.
Yeah.
But show business people weren't, because they'd come to town, and then they'd leave to go to the next town and not pay to,
Oh, okay.
show people, like, 99% of them wreck it for the other 1%. But it's fun. I don't know.
So, Andy, what do you got going on, Andy? You didn't say much today, Andy of Try Not to Laugh. Andy Flegel.
How are we doing?
We're doing good. How are you doing?
No,
Andy's
I mean,
coming-
I wasn't doing a dentist joke. I meant, how are we doing for not laughing?
Well, Andy's coming back when? Tuesday, Wednesday? What was it?
We haven't agreed on that yet.
Oh, okay. But you're coming back one day next
I'll
If
week.
he
be
doesn't
back.
say anything, how will anybody know? At the end of the show, just say, Andy was here.
He's here every day. They just don't know it.
Yeah, no, I'll be back next week.
What do you got there? What are these things?
This is
Sorry,
this
go
is
ahead,
my
Andy.
present to
Is it-
governors.
Oh.
This is a roast that we did for Perry somebody, but
Como.
this is Bob Woods. And
Oh,
I
wow.
think there should be a picture of Bob Woods here.
Oh, I wanted to ask you. You mentioned Ferrantino before. Whatever happened to him? He was great.
Oh, he had a sex change.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, now he's a
Woods.
guy.
Now he's Ferrantini.
Now he's a guy.
Now he's a guy.
And this is, I found this. I'm going through shit from my,
Hey, look, that's Bob Buckman.
yeah. Perry, whatever his name was, the other morning guy.
Oh, Joe.
That's like, that's like 1981.
Joe Perry.
No,
up.
Perry.
Perry
I forget.
Gilbert.
I found this in my crap. Look at this.
Wow, you shit that out of your ass?
So clean.
That's the actual opening night of this club.
Wow.
I think that should be framed and be on the wall here
Well, it was the grand opening for here.
for Governor's Comedy Shop.
Doesn't say the year. Ah. September 18th to 19th.
You just have to trust me. 1981.
1981?
Well, he could write 1981 on it and sign it.
No. Oh, yeah, you could sign
beautiful.
it. What? It's really clean.
Opening night, crazy. So fun.
That's a really, clean copy.
1961.
Wow.
It was, all my stuff. It's well preserved.
Look at that.
I probably got 5 of them. So Joe probably wiped his ass with it, but.
No, he loves this type of stuff.
Now we'll frame it and put it up.
That's really
The shows,
It's just an 8.5
me
by
and
11,
Nancy,
right?
me and Nancy, did I tell you about that? We really produced the show here. When we came in, I said, all right, put a speaker there, good stage here, nice microphone, nice mixing board, blah, blah, blah. I recorded every show, stereo microphones. Every comic that worked here walked away with 2 cassettes. Friday, side 1, show 2 on side 2. Saturday, same thing. Carol Leifer, the last time I saw her, like 5 years ago, said she still has her Governor's cassette. She just needs a place.
She's great, too.
So the show, with that Governor's Comedy Shop sign,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure who made it, but somebody made it. Maybe Bates, my old partner Bates, might have made it with the big green thing, and that was behind the stage. And we'd have the lights when it's time for the show. We always played, rock music like Eagles and James Taylor and stuff like that. It wasn't, some of the places played the the radio. Some of the clubs you go to now, and Governors is guilty of it too, they play comedy videos and snippets of comedy. I'm like, you don't fucking open a comedy show with comedy, Like there was a place, Levity Live up there, before the show starts, they show like 5 seconds of Steve Martin and 10 seconds of Robin Williams. You're like, what the fuck are you doing? You're trying to set a mood. So we'd have all this great, 60s music. And then when it was time for the show to start, the lights would come down, and we'd play the entire song, Send in the Clowns. I mean, you could hear a pin drop, very quiet, set the whole thing, and then all of a sudden, the place would go black, and the William Tell Overture would blast on.
Okay.
And I mean, it was fucking stirring. I don't care who you are. You're sitting there in the dark, and it's crazy. And at a really crucial point of the William Tell Overture, the spotlight went on, and there's a circular spotlight on Governor's Comedy Shop, and and with the smoke coming up, and it was spectacular. And then when it ended, boom, the lights had come up, and I'd walk on stage and the place would go nuts. And it was a fully produced. It was a great show. The only problem was I was drunk and I was probably too dirty to be emceeing a show. But aside from that, and the comics love working there because the crowd was ready for a fucking show.
Sure.
You know.
All right. Well, it's 1 o'clock. We got to go. But just quickly though, what's wrong with showing those clips, the video clips before the show?
Because you're going to show the funniest 5
you don't
seconds
go
of Steve
on
Martin.
after Steve Martin because then you're going to fail.
But it sets the tone. They're
No, it's
laughing.
not
They
setting.
enjoy
No,
it.
it's not setting the tone. It's
All
like,
right, but now, all right, Steve Martin. Okay, but now they're not showing that. They're showing just quick clips of the Little Rascals and Marx Brothers.
That's better.
And Blues
But
Brothers.
to music. They're not even
But
playing.
you don't even hear You don't even hear the audio. It's just,
I'm just.
kind of gets you in the mood, no?
Well, you know what? That's why there's horse races. Not to me.
So what would you? So you would have no video screens, or would you show something else on there?
Oh, I wouldn't have a
You
video
wouldn't have them
screen
at
at
all?
all. You know,
Oh, okay.
like a video screen is it's just like having a rock and roll band first. You know, I mean, like you can't go from big to small. You know, you don't have a full video screen and all of a sudden here's a single person standing on the stage. It's bad show business.
Okay.
That's simple. It's bad show business, and that's just my opinion.
Right.
Just happened to be right.
All right. Well, it's well, you're trying to get that or no?
No.
All right.
Go
it's
to
1
jokeland.com.
There you go.
Please come to a show. I'm
Yes.
working at the Newtown Theater in Newtown, Pennsylvania on February 1st. February 8th, I'm at the White Plains Comedy Club in White Plains. February 14th and 15th, my 72nd birthday, I'm at Uncle Vinny's Comedy Club in Point Pleasant, New Jersey, which I love. Dino's great. I love that it's Dino and Jerry. Dean and Jerry owns it.
You know what, Jerry? All right, well, Jackie the Joke Man Martling, everybody go to jokeland at AOL.com, send him an email, and visit jokeland.com. And also Andy Flegel, Try Not to Laugh podcast. Andy Flegel, go look at that at TNTL podcast.
You can actually hear me talk there.
Yeah.
Well, and again,
Is that a coincidence, or was that supposed to stand for Try Not to Laugh? Or is that just a coincidence, those letters?
No, it just ended up that way.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
and don't forget, Andy will be back next week, and
Yes.
we'll talk to him more then.
And Robin Eve, Robin Eve
as
Music.
always, Robin.
Right?
Thank
So
you very
check out
much.
Robin
Nice
Eve
to see you
Music.
guys.
Robin Eve and I will be back to sing our new hit song that we wrote.
Nice.
Yes.
Our apologies
If
to the
we
caller who's ever calling in, but we're out of time, so our apologies. It's Friday, so don't forget tomorrow. There's the new show starting on govsradio.com tomorrow at 11. A new day. Don't forget, Put Up, Shut Up, or Stand Up is on tomorrow night at 7, and then we'll be back. The Breakfast Club will be back on Monday at 9:30. Then we'll be back at 11. Everybody have a great weekend.
And for
Again,
a joke at work, call 516-922-WINE, 516-922-9463. Here's some information, but sit through some filthy jokes.
Thank you, Jackie, as always.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
everybody. We'll see you guys on Monday.